making it right. Jellyfish justice, we are unleashed. Jellyfish justice, ready to feast. We're a jellyfish tornado, we're a jellyfish storm. Cry out jellyfish justice, and the jellyfish swarm. Enemies beware, Mike is always there. The young Turks is more than just the hair. Jellyfish justice, to the rescue. Jellyfish justice, shining through. Jellyfish justice, out on the cape. Jellyfish justice, there's no escape. We're a jellyfish tornado, we're a jellyfish storm. Cry out jellyfish justice, and the jellyfish swarm. Enemies beware, Mike is always there. The young Turks is more than just the hair. Jellyfish justice, to the rescue. Jellyfish justice, shining through. Jellyfish, jellyfish justice, the young Turks. Jellyfish justice, like the fireworks. We're a jellyfish tornado, we're a jellyfish storm. Cry out jellyfish justice, and the jellyfish swarm. Jellyfish justice, the harbor, the land. Jellyfish justice, taking a stand. Enemies beware, Mike is always there. The young Turks is more than just the hair.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Melissa, for making that one. Jellyfish justice. It's a jellyfish tornado. That was fun. Something to not have me play the John Como song again. I love that song too. I love them both, but the boss lady doesn't like that one. She says it's too much. My John Como song is too much. So I said maybe she'll check out Jellyfish Justice and like that one a little better. I have a feeling not. We'll see. I like them. I like them both. I like this one, Jellyfish Justice. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing that. She shared 3 different versions. We may play some other ones maybe in the future. We'll see. But thank you so much for all the people creating things based on our show. I love it. I love when you folks create, new videos and remixes and all the other stuff. AI art. There's some graphics we just put up in the 3Ms on our Twitter, for example. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that. Miss Shorty made something for us too, the 3Ms. We'll be posting that up too. We got a bunch of people definitely supporting us. I want to thank our moderators. Tonight, people want to know, are the 3Ms going to be here? No, they're not. No. Just me tonight. Just me, Mike Crawford tonight. I could probably even take off the headphones. Wow. Yeah, I might. I might just move them back a little bit too. I have to listen to myself. But yeah, just me tonight. I want to look at the news of the day that we're all looking at and talking about is this new lawsuit that just dropped from the O'Keefe family. It's the brother is at the top as the executor of John O'Keefe's estate, Paul O'Keefe. You also see some of the other family members there. We're going to talk about this tonight. I will say about Betterow and the 3Ms. He's still on vacation. Mark Betterow just posted a little bit a while ago. He said he needs a couple more days and big family vacation type deal. So he'll be back when he's back. I know people want to hear him, but let him enjoy his time off. He gave us a lot during the Karen Reed trial. Gave us all a lot of time. So I'm glad that his family and he are enjoying the time off. But I just wanted to look at this tonight. Take a look at this. This is I know a lot of people are like kind of angry a little bit. I see a little anger going at Paul O'Keefe right now. Um Maybe frustration. I kind of understand it, but I don't really feel like that on this. I wish it wasn't, I wish there wasn't a lawsuit against Karen Reed on this. Uh, I don't, like it so much, but I understand it. Just especially when you have the guardian of the daughter, not John's daughter, but the niece that was almost like a daughter to him. Because this family is, they're representing the rights of them, and they feel it a certain way about this case. I don't agree with the way they feel. I think they're wrong. I think there's a lot wrong there, obviously, but in their minds, they're doing the right thing for the niece. I'm surprised the nephew's not in there. That's one thing I'm wondering is about because they might have to be deposed. This may be something we want to talk to a civil lawyer about. People are also bringing up right away that this could help Karen Reed in her criminal defense, possibly, but will this actually be heard before her criminal trial? I kind of doubt that. Like, if there is a criminal trial, so this might be the only thing that happens next. Maybe the criminal trial doesn't happen in January. I still think it will. I still think that Norfolk County's that craven that they're going to go for it. And if they do, it's going to be 2 months and it's over. And I just don't think that they're going to have a civil trial, especially as Attorney Betterow posted today on Twitter. And this is exactly what I was thinking too, but it's good to see an attorney say this. There's no way her defense team is going to allow her to be deposed for a civil suit while she's still facing criminal charges, while she's facing a criminal trial in January. So I feel like the civil suit, even though, and I would like to know, like, is it 3 or 5 years, the statute of limitations on this type of civil suit? Because it could be one of the reasons they filed right now. But I also think it's about PR, obviously, as well. But it's very interesting, especially bringing in the Waterfall and bringing in CF McCarthy's as well. Especially the Waterfall too. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond in terms of the defense and any insurance companies that are involved. There could be some definitely good info for Karen Reed to come out, no doubt about it. But it's when will this actually be heard? When will all the depositions happen? When will it go to trial, if it does go to trial on the civil side? So maybe it would be helpful in her appeal if she ever lost, but I don't think she's going to lose on the criminal side. So, but let's take a look at this. The plaintiff, Paul O'Keefe, is the surviving brother of the late John O'Keefe III, is a duly anointed personal rep of the estate of John O'Keefe III, who died on January 29, 2022. So also, you're looking at the plaintiffs here. You got John O'Keefe III. John O'Keefe II. So the father is included. I saw some people saying the father wasn't included in this. He is included. So the father is also suing. He's the plaintiff. You see it right here, right? So let's correct that out there. I saw some people saying that he wasn't included. I hope people can see that. Can you see that? I want to check the chat. Can you see what I'm looking at? Is that big enough on the screen for you guys? And I see some of the comments too. I'm glad that we have some good comments already. One of the comments just noted one of the best things that I think that this could help on the criminal defense side, obviously, but I don't know. And this is where, when we have Attorney Betterow on, it'll be good to ask him about these questions, because it would definitely help, I think, the defense if they could paint the family, the O'Keefe family, as having a vested interest in having Karen Reed be found guilty because of the financial civil suit. But will the defense go there? I mean, that's a fine line. I don't know if a jury would be turned off by that type of going after the family of the deceased. That's a very fine line. So I don't know if a defense strategy would ever actually do that in a jury trial. It's possible, but it could also hurt them. It could look, yeah. Someone said, "Welcome to the Paul O'Keefe Comedy Hour." Yes, my live is on Twitter X tonight. Thank you so much, Mary, for noticing. We finally got that straightened out. It was something stupid too. It's so funny. So funny how we found out how to fix it. Oh, LL said 4.99 says thanks for all you do, Mike. Your fellow BSC buddy. Wow. Bridgewater State. I guess they're old school too, like I was. Bridgewater State College, not Bridgewater State University, that it is now. Thank you so much, LL. Love it. All right, so let's look at more at this. You guys can see this. This is large enough on the screen, I'm assuming. So also, obviously, Margaret O'Keefe is suing the mother of John O'Keefe. And this is the niece that John O'Keefe was the guardian of. So all of them are suing. And who are they suing? They're suing CF McCarthy's in Canton, which is a restaurant where John O'Keefe was at. John O'Keefe and Karen Reed were at. And they left CF McCarthy's, where if anyone's going to be found liable, it be more, I would say most likely CF McCarthy's and all this. But I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on how many drinks did Karen actually consume at CF McCarthy's. Relying on Bukkake's representations doesn't seem like it's going to really stand up. I wonder, what CF McCarthy's is going to say about this. Same with the Waterfall. The Waterfall is also being sued. I don't even know if Karen Reed had a drink at the Waterfall. I'm guessing she might have had one. I don't know. But it's hard to know based on what Bukkake showed. So it's going to be interesting to bring them into this and see what they actually testify to and what they actually say, because there's a lot in this case when I'm looking at on this filing. When I'm looking at it, they're just assuming that Karen Reed was drunk, but they don't talk about how many drinks she had really. It's just like, based on what? Based on what? Yeah, it's the same. It's almost like Lally wrote this. If you look over here, it says the months leading up to January 29, JJ and defendant Reed relationship was deteriorating. During such time, defendant Reed picked fights, experienced jealousy, and had delusions of unfaithfulness. I mean, it sounds like every relationship right there, frankly. But it's the same tired stuff that didn't bring a conviction on the criminal case. All right, let's go through this. On January 28th, CF McCarthy's served alcoholic beverages to defendant Reed at about 9:13, 9:20, 9:33, 9:57, 10:22, and 10:29. Reed consumed such drinks. See, this is the part I have a problem with. How do we know she consumed those drinks? Like, you're going on the timestamps from Bukkake, which, I mean, I don't even know if those are correct based on what we saw in the video. And then the consuming, there's nothing there. We don't know if those drinks were for someone else, which I'm definitely assuming it was the case, especially since everyone at the bar said she didn't seem intoxicated. Everyone that was around her said she didn't seem intoxicated. If she drank as much as they claim she did, she would have been even still intoxicated that next morning when she was surrounded by fire, EMTs, and police officers and the other group of vipers there. None of them reported her being drunk. So all of this is just like, I think it's really hard for them to prove that she was actually drunk. So this is what it's all going to come down to. This little civil suit. Was she actually drunk? And did she hit John O'Keefe again? It's going to be like a retrial. Um, there are instances definitely where in criminal cases people are found not guilty, and then the civil suit they are found guilty. It's a lower threshold to be found guilty in a civil suit, but I think it comes down to the same BS. And what I think is going to be interesting is who does she have for an attorney on this? I'm sure Jackson, you will find her some like kick-ass civil defense attorneys, but will she have enough cash? Hopefully she does. Hopefully she has enough resources to back her up on all this because this is really what it's going to be. The problem, I think, for Karen Reed is just the mounting expenses when you're looking at a second criminal defense with the lawyers that she has, and now civil suits. And who knows if this is the only civil suit? I mean, that's the question I had after today was like, who else is going to be suing who? You know? uh, Kylo Beer, I want to thank you so much. You gave 50 new memberships like a week ago. That was very generous of you. Thank you so much for doing that. You're a good person. Thank you so much, Kylo Beer. Says, will this lawsuit prohibit the O'Keefe family from appearing at Karen's future court appearances? No, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. But will the defense bring up the fact that there's a lawsuit to kind of blunt, their kind of, sway on with the jury? I'm not sure they will because I think that could actually backfire on them. But it's possible they may actually bring it up. They could bring up, hey, Paul O'Keefe, you have you'd get a lot of money if Karen was found guilty, wouldn't you, through your lawsuit? Maybe Alan Jackson would ask that question. I don't know. I don't think so. But you never know. There may be another way to do it too. Or maybe they ask one of the supporting characters about it. That would probably be the way that they would do it. Maybe ask Jen there, or Matt McCabe about it. John D said, O'Keefe's are going to need a PI. Wonder who. I think we may have some ideas. We may have some ideas on that. All right. Just basically talking here about how, what happened that night. She was driving the car. This is the part that number 34. As a result of Reed's SUV hitting JJ on January 29th, JJ was knocked down onto the ground in front of 34 Fairview Road, suffered serious injury, and died. That's the part I just don't see how they're going to be able to prove that. How are they going to? They couldn't prove it with the state resources. How are they going to prove it in a civil court? Are these state police officers going to show up again? Is Paul going to show up for a criminal trial and a civil trial? Or are they going to use their testimony? I just don't see how they're going to prove that, especially without a conviction, which I don't think they're ever going to get. And here it says, at all relevant times on January 29th, defendant Reed drove her SUV in a state of intoxication. I don't know how they prove that. There was no breathalyzer done, not even that morning. If they thought she was intoxicated, wouldn't they have arrested her or given her a breathalyzer or field sobriety test even that morning? Nothing. See, they're just saying she was impatient. She was deliberately inattentive to the predictable hazards of her actions. She took an obvious risk. So they're saying that Karen Reed intentionally or unreasonably disregarded the risk of injury to John O'Keefe. Not sure how they prove that. I don't know how they improve any of this. I'm just going through it page by page here with you all. We're on page 6, and I just don't see how they prove any of this. I'm gonna read a couple more of your comments here. I'm glad this is a good comment. This is why I go back to you guys too. I'm gonna check the non-super chats too in a second, but the Pilgrim Shadow gave a great super chat. They said, "Happy 76th birthday, Mr. Reed. People have been donating $7.60 to Karen Reed Defense Fund today in the honor of Mr. Reed." That's Karen Reed's father. Thanks, Maud, for all your work. So I would suggest people, if you want to help Karen Reed right now, more donations. And you can do $76, excuse me, or you can do $7.60. You can do any amount, $10, $20, but make a donation. You can leave a comment too. Happy 76th birthday to Mr. Reed while doing so. But I would definitely suggest freekarenreed.net. People make donations tonight. Thank you so much, the Pilgrim Shadow, for reminding us of that. We got Sarah in shock and horror. She just gifted 10 Young Jerks memberships. Thank you so much. That's awesome. People getting new memberships. Glenn Lake also did the same. Thank you so much, Glenn. And I just want to, 1,400 of you watching right now on YouTube. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see who's on Twitch. Is anyone? Oh, we got the one Twitch guy. Thank you so much. That person on Twitch. We got a couple dozen people on Facebook and who knows on Twitter, but we're on X. I'm glad we're on X tonight. I think more people see us on X and then go to YouTube and watch it. So I'm glad we're back up on X right now. All right, let's just go through a little more of this. Now, they're saying on January 29th, defendant Reed admitted repeatedly that she hit JJ. Did she? I don't think she really did. I don't think there was that. From what I saw in the trial, I don't believe that she ever said that. I don't. So this is all, they're acting like everything that happened in the trial was just what Lally said. That's pretty much what this lawsuit looks like. Looks like it was just like, we're just going to copy everything Lally said and pretend that it's all true. All right, here's where it gets really. And this is where John O'Keefe's family always goes back to. You can tell their feelings got hurt, and they decided that Karen was a bad person at 7:50 on January 29th, 2022. And this is it right here. It says, defendant Reed went to the grieving house of JJ, feigned comfort to JJ's family, and used the opportunity to, amongst other things, remove the offending weapon. They're talking about the car, her vehicle, and or destroy relevant evidence. So right there, like, this is where the lawsuit really doesn't stand up. What relevant evidence did she destroy that day? That was a conspiracy theory that pointed back that maybe Proctor actually destroyed the evidence that you guys claimed. So this is like all BS. This lawsuit is full of BS. Here's another one. On January 29th, defendant Reed's blood was drawn reading of 93 mg/dl. a serum conversion and retrograde extrapolation was done of the results of defendant Reed's blood, with the results showing her blood alcohol would have been between 0.13 to 0.29 around the time she drove the SUV and hit JJ. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't. Like, that's such a wide range, number one. If she had a 0.29, she'd probably be dead. Let's be serious. Like, that's such a ridiculously high BAC. And 1.3, she would have been wasted too. You know? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Especially like when you have to do this stuff that we can't even explain to most people. A serum conversion and a retrograde extrapolation. Extrapolation. I can't even say the friggin' word. Extrapolation. What the hell is that? It sounds like you're pulling some numbers, and it's you can't even tell us like between 1.3 and 0.29. What? So I'm not buying that either. I'm just not. I don't buy these tests and these, especially with the Mass State Police. And I know that the hospital supposedly did that, but geez, I don't know. I mean, that's what they have. That is the best piece of evidence I'll say that they have in this lawsuit. That's it. That they did this extrapolation, this retrograde extrapolation of a serum conversion and a retrograde extrapolation. Once they did that and they got a number 1.3 to 2.9 estimate, now they have her. I mean, that's basically all they have in this lawsuit to me. And even that is suspect. I mean, some people may not throw that out like I will. But the big thing is that they're saying that she hit him, and I don't see how they can prove that she hit him in the civil lawsuit. And then they're saying that she knowingly and deliberately changed her story and fabricated a conspiracy knowing it to be false. She publicly communicated this false narrative, thereby frustrating justice for JJ. Such false narrative caused the plaintiffs aggravated emotional distress. Well, what if she told the truth the whole time? Because that's what I think a lot of us believe. I think that we believe that Karen actually told the truth, and it's an uncomfortable truth that you don't want to hear. So here are the counts. Number one, the wrongful death that we talked about, which I think it's going to be really hard for them to prove. And you know that the restaurant owners and any insurance companies involved are going to fight this, and they're going to ask. They're going to. I think they're going to be able, especially if you have servers that are saying, that's not what happened, which I think is exactly what's going to happen here. So I think they're going to have a hard time getting count one, which is the wrongful death. And look, it says it's choice to retain unfit employees, staff, bartenders, and servers. They're going after these restaurants. How do you know that they were unfit? It'll be interesting to see if and if it comes up on how many drinks that Chris Albert, I want to know how many fireball shots he bought that night. Apparently he bought a round of fireball shots for everyone. How many drinks did Chris Albert have on his tab that night? So here it is. This is all about going after JJ, going after, excuse me, I was going to say the other place, CF McCarthy's and the Waterfall. Here's count two. They saved John O'Keefe versus Waterfall. So they're going after all of them. CF McCarthy, you got Karen Reed, and you got Waterfall Bar and Grill. They're going after him. Same count, wrongful death, which I think they're going to have a hard time proving. Here's Karen Reed. And, for each of these, it's going to be a little different because each one, has a little bit different What Karen Reed did is they're obviously different than the Waterfall, but they're basically saying the same count for all of them, all three of them, that they all should get wrongful death against them. I gotta check the comments again real quick. Who's in here right now? How many? Let me ask you this: how many people think that it's possible that Karen Reed would ever lose a civil suit on this right now, based on what we've seen already today? Yeah, people say like they can't prove it. Yeah, no. I say no too, but you never know because sometimes people when they're giving other people's money away, and especially when it's a grieving family, they're like, "Oh, we don't even care if she did it. Let's just give them the money because it will make them feel better. They lost their son." So that's what I worry about is like people that don't really follow the facts, let's say. So I think civil it is easier to win. So I would be worried. I would be worried if I was Karen Reed, even though I think this is a bunch of BS, like I've been saying. Like everything I'm going through, it's gonna be hard for them to prove unless Adam Lally could somehow prove it in court, which I don't think he's gonna be able to do. And I think the criminal case is gonna happen first. I really do, because like Attorney Bettero said, no way is the defense going to allow her to be deposed for the civil suit before her criminal trial. That goes against the First Amendment right. So, no way. Especially when she's facing, basically murder charges. So, but what's interesting? You never know what like private detectives, might dig up for some of these defendants in the civil suit. Maybe they would help Karen Reed. That's the way I could see it helping Karen Reed on her criminal offense is if some of these insurance companies, for instance, start digging into a lot of the dirt around these people in Canton. And maybe they would share it with her defense team. Who knows? Maybe they'd share it with some of the press. So there are a lot of unpredictables here. So there you go. Margaret O'Keefe is on count 4. The negligent infliction of emotional distress. She is the mother of John O'Keefe, known as JJ, in this lawsuit. Margaret suffered severe and profound emotional injuries, manifesting in physical symptoms as a result of observing JJ at the hospital and witnessing the consequences of CF McCarthy's negligence. See, I'm not doubting that she suffered severe and profound emotional injuries manifesting in physical symptoms. I'm sure all of that is true. I don't know if it's about the consequences of CF McCarthy's negligence then, though. I didn't see enough proof in the criminal trial. Who knows in the civil? Maybe there's much more. I don't know. I'm doubting it. His John O'Keefe versus CF McCarthy. So this is John O'Keefe himself. Oh, John O'Keefe the second. See, it doesn't say that. It's funny up there. It doesn't, but his estate's also suing. So this is interesting. John O'Keefe the second learned of JJ's admission to the hospital immediately and came upon JJ's body at the hospital shortly thereafter. I mean, I feel bad for that family. They've been through a lot of tragedy. A lot of tragedy. I got to think that's kind of affecting them on this too. When you get rocked by so much goddamn tragedy. You know what I wonder too is let's say evidence comes out that it's not Karen Reed and it was somebody else. I wonder if the statute of limitations can run out before they figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I really think that they should be suing the DA. Actually, that's who they should be suing: Canton Police and the DA and the state police. I wish they could. I don't think they have enough to sue them yet, but I think that long term, that's where this might actually go. I'm going to read some super chats. Here's one. Did the niece testify that Karen said she hit John, or is that story evolving? You know, I'm not sure about that because that's something that I didn't hear in the testimony. I remember there were some reporters that reported on what was said. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the daughter's the niece. I call her the daughter. The niece. The niece said. Not sure. But I'd say one thing. I'm not sure that we should trust a young dependent who's surrounded by people with an interest in having them testify a certain way. You know, especially having grown up, the way I did. Let's put it that way, where parents were feuding and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It just whoever the kids around is who they're gonna listen to and follow. That's just the way it is. I feel bad for those kids. I really do. WBZ Radio 1030 reported this AM that PO is seeking 50,000 in damages for Paul O'Keefe. 50,000, that's all his brother's life is worth to him. What a joke. That's 1 week of AJ's tab. I didn't hear that on WBZ Radio. If they said that, they were incorrect. There is no monetary number in this lawsuit that I've seen. I mean, unless I missed it somewhere, we're going to go through it right now. But we haven't seen a number on this. I think this is about like establishing, what they're trying to charge with and all that other stuff. And then later on, they get to the monetary, maybe when they prove it. I don't know how the system works, the civil suit in this type of situation, but that's what I'm guessing because it does, list that they do want punitive damages. It does definitely list that they do want some money, but it doesn't spell it out. There's no number. There's no actual 50,000, a million, 10. It's not in there. So either WBZ radio got it wrong or you misheard it. Who knows? But I'm glad we could kind of chime in on that. Thank you for the comment, FKR 2024. Reality Check says what I don't get is how the bars won't ask for dismissal because Karen hasn't been convicted and therefore these cases of death has not been proven. I'm sure they will ask for it, but just because she wasn't convicted doesn't mean a civil case can't go forward. So look at OJ. Happens a lot, actually. They're totally separate things. But I'm sure the bars will ask for it to get dismissed. Especially, I can't imagine the Waterfall if they didn't even serve her. She have one drink there or zero? I mean, we'll see. The petty paralegal says whoever made the decision to refer to Officer John O'Keefe as JJ throughout this proceeding is a chooch to the highest degree. I know that is weird, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just easier for the lawyer because there are several John O'Keefes here. The father is John O'Keefe. I don't know. But it is weird, the JJ thing, especially when JJ is also Jen McCabe's nickname. Maybe she maybe she helped write the lawsuit. Maybe she's helped funding it too. I mean, I wonder where they got this attorney. Okay, so Gleb Seuss is explaining a little better. 50,000 how you get into spirit court. The suit says 50,000. Insurers will not settle at this time. Investigations will be done first. Karen reads insurers will not settle. The bars can lose their liquor licenses. So apparently there's a limit to get into the superior court. You have to be over the limit, but obviously it's going to be more than 50,000. That's the point. It's not going to be. I didn't see any numbers in here, but I guess to get into that court, you have to be over 50,000. Obviously, a death like this would definitely be over 50,000. So maybe that's what they're talking about. All right, we're going to go on. Count 8. John O'Keefe versus Waterfall. Negligent infliction of emotional distress. This is for the father. John II suffered severe and profound emotional injuries, manifesting in physical symptoms as a result of observing JJ at the hospital and witnessing the consequences of Waterfall's negligence. See, I'm not doubting that they did have this emotional distress, but who was it caused by? That's going to be very difficult for them in this civil suit to prove, I think. And there, Margaret O'Keefe, too. So you got them all. It's the whole O'Keefe family. All right, we're going to go to Kaylee. Count 13. She is the niece of John O'Keefe. She was her guardian since her parents passed away. Kaylee learned of JJ's death or injury when defendant Reed woke Kaylee up at approximately 4:30 a.m. on January 29th. Defendant Reed knew Kaylee was vulnerable, having already lost her parents at age 6. Nevertheless, in Kaylee's presence, defendant Reed spoke on speakerphone to various people between 4:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. on January 29th. This is kind of sick right here. I'm going to read that again. Line 148 says defendant Reed knew Kaylee was vulnerable, having already lost her parents at age 6. It makes it seem like Karen Reed was like victimizing this kid, which that's a weird statement right there. That is very weird. So then you have these statements, I guess, that they're putting in here that says Kaylee heard defendant Reed say JJ never came home. Maybe I did something. Maybe a snowplow hit him. Maybe I had hit him. Maybe I hit him. We were in an argument. Maybe he got hit by a snowplow. So again, to me, this is just you're gonna put this kid Kaylee on the stand and you're gonna have her cross-examined by attorneys on those statements. How do you think that's gonna go? Is that what we're doing? Mm. And people keep saying, I guess this is what Paul meant when he said, I'm not done with you. Yeah, I guess not. I guess he's not done with his niece either. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the niece wants to do this. I think as an adult, you might want to hold her back. I don't know. I mean, this is I'm going to read this. Defendant Reed either intended to inflict emotional distress in Kaylee or knew or should have known that emotional distress was likely to result from defendant Reed's conduct. I don't think anyone with a reasonable mind thought that Karen Reed was intending to inflict emotional distress in that young lady. I think she was freaked the F out. All right, so here is where the money comes into play. It says, wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment against the defendant, Karen Reed, on count 13 plus interest, cost, and any other relief or damages this court deems appropriate. So that's where they bring up, monetary, but they don't put a number on it. And that's signed by the attorney, Mark Diller, Esquire, Diller Law, LLP, 50 Congress Street, Suite 420, by the way, Boston, Massachusetts. That's, I'm guessing he's a reputable law firm, 50 Congress Street. You got to think so. Got to be a legit. So that's it. I mean, we went through it quickly. I want to skim through it. I want to waste a lot of time, but I think you kind of get where I'm at on this, right? Any questions? You're not going to call Paul a grifter and all that or say he should be ashamed. I'm not. But it is funny that they've, the McAlbert sock puppets and their mouthpieces like Kevin, KP, and all them have called all of us, the Glera, Turtle Boy, myself, whoever is supporting Karen Reed. We're all grifters. We're all about the money. We're all about, doing anything for the money and not following the truth. Because some of us do actually make a little bit of money on this. Because this is, we do shows. But now it looks like maybe they're influenced by money. The family. Because you know what? It seems like actually Karen Reed probably has a little more money than the McAlberts, right? Oh. Funny how that grifting thing comes across. Like they call us all grifters, but Kevin collects money. They call us grifters, but D&E is now like a charity pizza shop. They call us grifters, but now Paul O'Keefe has a lawsuit. Right? Yeah, of course. Plevin is going live at 9 p.m. tonight. The real grifter live at 9 p.m. He's like, no Turtle Boy tonight. I'll go live at 9. It's funny too. You can see a lot of the same donors on Kevin's page. And they're always the anonymous ones that no one knows who they are. It's 8 p.m. Thomas is in here. Thomas, it's funny how I given Thomas shit. He's given us donations before. I kind of like Thomas, but he could be a real dick. Because he talks about being civil, but his guy's not civil. And a lot of times Thomas isn't civil either on Twitter, I noticed. So just a lot of hypocrisy on that side. And I noticed Kevin, his new thing is, if you don't have me on your show, you're a grifter. That's actually the definition of grifter now by Kevin, is if you don't have me on your show, you're a grifter. That's it. So anyone that doesn't have Kevin on their show is a grifter. I mean, I'd say it's the opposite, because I know if I had Kevin on the show, I was just looking at my analytics the other day. And one of the biggest shows that we had there was a lot of people who actually got mad at me about this show is a guy, there are a few of those shows, but the number one show over like the last couple months was me just relentlessly going after Kevin. It didn't even get the most views, but it got the most like heat, like in terms of the all the intellects that you actually care about. And it was going after Kevin. And you know what it would do for my dodos if I had Kevin on and fucking destroyed him, which I would do? I would absolutely eat his ass alive. You've seen me on those shows when I go off on him. Some people don't like it because they're used to, Mike, nice guy, asking the questions. You got better role. We'll be all sensible and funny and have fun. But when I whip his, you know how I do it. And if I had him on the show, my numbers would go through the friggin' roof. But I won't do it. And why? Because that's what he wants. Because it will give him credibility. Because it will give him that little boost. And I'm not going to allow anyone to be swayed by that guy. I'm not going to allow him to, just because I want more views, I'm not going to give him 5 extra people. Because that's what would happen. I would get way more views, but he'd pick up like a dozen people, dozen idiots. They'd be like, oh, I kind of like that guy. He would. And that's why I will never have him on the show. It's actually the opposite of grifting. It would do. My mods know exactly what it would do on my show if I had them on. I'd get probably 300, 400, 500 subscribers that day. Kevin would probably get a dozen. But because Kevin would get a dozen, I won't do it. Thank you so much. Super chats tonight. I love you guys. Wow. Look at this one. This is a new one I don't even seen before. Mandolin Wind just gifted someone a 1-year Young Jerks membership. I didn't even know you could do that. That's amazing. Somebody got really lucky tonight. And we haven't even done any member shows yet. I think we're going to do some member shows pretty soon. I keep saying that. I think it's due. I was close to doing one, and then I saw Sean McDonough do one like last week or something. And it was just like all these people it just looked like a fiasco, honestly. And not due to him, just due to the YouTube thing, how confusing it is, and people trying to become members and they can't, and all that stuff. It's not his fault. It's the way of the technology in the world of this stuff. So that's why I get maybe I don't want to do that, because I don't want people to get mad and get left out. But I really appreciate the people who join as members. It's really cool. And I feel like I do owe you guys something. I was trying to work on something for you guys, and it fell through, honestly, too. Yeah, someone says I can't on my iPhone. That's what I'm talking about. There's some issues between iPhone and at home with the membership shows, and I've seen Turtle Boy have issues with that stuff too. It just, you guys know me. I'm trying to low friction, low technology. I don't want to get too fancy. I try to keep it simple. I like what Sean says. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. He says that about himself. I am too. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. Let's just make it simple. Let's just keep it easy. But I'm collecting the membership, so I probably should do one. I have to do something. I was trying to set something up for you guys, and it didn't work out. And here's another one, Gifton. Thank you so much to the Petty Paralegal. You guys are awesome. All right. I was asking, any more questions or comments? Anything else you want to say? I don't know about Kevin, or especially about the civil lawsuit. Any guests you want to see on the show upcoming, or back on the show that I haven't had on the show in a while? This is a good night for any feedback. I don't have any guests. We got through the material quickly. I could chill for a couple minutes. I'm reading all your comments. I'm very attentive right now. Here's one. Attorney Mark Diller is known for personal injury, well known for drunk drowsy drivers, holding business companies accountable. I'm sure he's a good attorney. And that definitely is concerning. Like, no doubt about it. There are some things that are concerning about that lawsuit, even though I just don't know how they're going to prove it. And someone said, I love hearing you talk about analytics. You know what I'm saying, though, right, Brenda? You know my numbers would light the F up if I had Kevin on and just destroyed him, which I would do. I would absolutely, I would just, because it'd be so easy to get under his skin. I would do stuff like just start like mocking him, openly mocking him in terms of just kind of repeating his, mannerisms. Let's put it that way. I missed your other super chat. Uh-oh. I haven't seen all those super chats. We'll go through them. Wow. See, the people are gifting the 1 year. Here's another gift. Uh okay, here's one. They want some specific guests. They want to see JFK back, Peter Murphy, Mark Betterow, all different angles, all brilliant. So you like those dudes. So Betterow's definitely coming back. Not sure when. Probably the middle of this week, I would guess. Peter Murphy, we just had on a couple times. I'll definitely have him back on. And JFK, I'm sure we could do as well. JFK's blowing up himself. He's doing pretty good. I'm going back and see if I missed some super chats here. Someone's reality check said I missed one. Oh, here it is. What I don't get is how the bars won't ask for dismissal because Karen Reed hasn't been convicted. No, we did. We saw that one. We read that one. I'm sure they will actually ask for that. I'm just looking to see if I missed any others. I don't think we did. I think we did pretty good. All right. I'm gonna check the other messages too. You guys got any other questions for me? Someone said Melanie Little. I'd have Melanie Little on the show, but she hit me up once to come on, and it was because of Better Row. Unless I have Better Row, I don't think she wants to come on. So just being truthful. Which I think is, yeah, whatever. Someone said I should have Miss Shorty as a guest. We did have her on it once. We'd probably have her on again. Yeah. Love Nurse Kim. She's not really been that nice to me. I don't know. I don't know what it seems like. She doesn't like me for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Oh well. Not everyone's gonna like you out there. Boston Mike. That's actually someone I should have on. I've never had him on. He's called in. He's crazy. I like my Boston Mike. Mizzy again. Yes. Now you're talking. I think Mizzy. Yes. Yeah, I think Miss Little might be a cat person. I'm not going to take it hard. I'm a dog person. It's like, whatever. I'm not trying to force anyone on my show. Let's put it that way. There's plenty of people who want to come on. Sean McDonough. I bet I could get him back on. I just get worried about Sean sometimes. Just I don't know. Like he is so good, but sometimes it's like, dude, is he too close to the flame? You know what I mean? Like it's like 99%, but like that whole dick thing still. I'm just like, oh. Yeah, Sean. I like Sean. That's the thing. I like Sean. That's I want Kelly Reed. I would love to have Kelly Reed on. She's promised to come on when it's all over. So we'll see what happens with that. That's I don't think that's gonna happen until Karen charges is dismissed or trial's over. Oh, you know what? That's a good one right there. I like this guy actually. Runkle. He's kind of funny. Like he's kind of Runkle. Yeah, I think I'm putting that on my list actually. I gotta make Runkle happen. I was on a show with him once. I kind of went after him a little, not after him, but I was like, I don't know about Runkle. Or I disagree with. I said something like that. I disagree with Runkle or something. And he's cool. Like he's funny. He's smart. He's a lawyer. I think I gotta get Runkle. Yeah, everyone loves Sean, of course. Sean, it's just hard to get in touch. I mean, Sean is in high demand. There's certain ones like Turtle Boy and Sean, I know I could get on, but I don't want to bug them. I know that everybody wants them on. They're kind of my friends. I'm like, I just don't want to be like, yo, can you come on again? They have their own shows too. Like Betero, I would probably feel the same way about Betero, but I know Betero loves to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't he doesn't have his own show, so it's just different when you get to a certain level. But yeah, I'll definitely try to have Sean. I want to try to have Turtle Boy back on too. But Runkle, I think, would be fun. I've never had Runkle on before. Someone says I like J. A lot of people like it. JFK. I noticed his numbers been going up too. He's doing good. Oh, someone's talking about Nurse Kim and one of my mods. I don't know if it's Nurse Kim or if she's been ragging him on Dave, who's a gremlin. I don't know. I don't really care. No, I don't give a shit. Like I'm at the point now, like if you're not getting the mass state police after me, then I don't care what you say. Like it just, you know what I mean? After the year I've been through, you know, it doesn't matter. If someone doesn't like whatever. There's people I don't like too, It just happens. Like almost every dog I ever meet loves me. Like my girlfriend is really good with animals, especially dogs, and she's got a lot of experience. But she's noticed we go on these meet and greets a lot of times, and the dogs love me the most now. It's crazy. And she always says that. They just love you right away. But even me, where I was getting to get cocky, I was like, I don't think there's a dog I'll meet that doesn't like me. And then I met a dog that didn't like me and like really didn't like me. You can just tell. It happens, even dogs. So it's not a big deal. Like I'm not upset at that dog that doesn't like me. Probably, I probably smell funny to him or something. I don't know. He doesn't like my maybe he doesn't like guys with hair. And there is a difference too. There are some dogs, like I have a dog right now that loves me. She's a female and she's afraid of tall men, which I'm borderline tall. I'm not really tall. I'm like 5'10", so I'm like average actually now. But she likes any skinny tall male basically with glasses or a hat. And of course, I always have glasses and hat on. So that dog was very scared of me. She got to know me. She loves me now. That's different. I'm talking about some dogs just don't like you. And I finally found one that didn't like me. It wasn't a big deal. It's okay. Yeah, someone said you just smell like weed. What's so funny about that? Yeah, maybe the dog doesn't like the smell of weed. I don't know. Someone said Chloe wouldn't like you. I bet she would though. Like 99.999% of dogs love me. So I bet Chloe would have loved me. Where is Chloe? Where is Chloe? That came up. I was at a party this weekend. That came up. Where's Chloe? Somebody said Sergio De Niro from Truth Revealed. Maybe, possibly. That might be a good one. There it is. Ask Bob. I love Ask Bob. He's a regular viewer. He says, Mike, you are a terrific journalist and a great interviewer. But my favorite shows are you solo, commenting with a video or ranting. See, I told you, people love when I get fired up, the ranting. See, I don't like to do that unless I really have something to get all fired up about. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like I'm doing a solo show tonight. I thought it was important, but I don't feel as comfortable. But if I'm fired up about something, yes. And that's the thing. If I had Kevin on the show, I would be fired the F up. You know what I mean? I would love you. People don't think I would love to have Kevin on the show and just rip him a new you know what and get 1 million views. I would love to do that, but I can't do it because he's disingenuous, dishonest, and I'd be helping his platform. And I'm not going to do it. I just personally don't want to help him at all. And I know it bugs him. So, I think the Bettero, I believe, is the same way. He won't do anything with Kevin. Baza, like we won't do anything with Kevin. And I'm not bashing other shows that recently had Kevin on. That's up to them. They can do what they want. I would never tell another show who to have on or not have on or criticize. I don't care. Just for me, nope, never. Or Grant, right? Exactly. Somebody said the Glera. Yeah, you know what? I think I owe the Glera. He hit us up to be Maz and I to be guests on the show. I think if I hit up the Glera, it's probably saying, "Hey, I owe you to go on your show." So maybe that will happen. The Glera is a good dude. I love the Glera. Will. All right, now I feel like I'm just talking to myself, guys. But I love all your comments, your suggestions about who to have on the show. Anybody else I haven't thought of to have on the show? There's more people who want to see the Galera on the show. Yeah, we could do him again. Richie and Mike shoot together. Maybe. Well, maybe I'll ask Richie if Mike shoot doesn't want to do live shows. I know, so I've asked him before. Richie, I asked too, but now Richie's out. Maybe he'll do it. Olivia thinks this will be helpful in Karen's case, improving her innocence. I mean, it possibly could in terms of discovery and info if they have private detectives and insurance companies, but in terms of testimony, I don't think it will because I don't think it's going to be heard before Karen Reed is prosecuted again, if she is prosecuted. So I think it might be limited. It could help. It could also help if they want to bring up Paul Keefe could financially benefit from Karen Reed being found convicted. Maybe that will be helpful too. I don't know. Uh-oh, someone doesn't like Tom's CPU. The Tom CPU is voted worst annoying person on earth. Okay. I mean, I don't know why we have to broadcast that on our show, though. I appreciate the donation, but this isn't the place that we're going to hate on people. Come on. What did he do? I have no idea what your beef is. A Ladies of Canton show. We're going to have more of those. Pretty much any select board meeting is going to be Rita. Yeah, maybe you ask Jennifer O'Donnell back too. Yeah, see, look at all these people who love Tom. When you go up and trash someone like Tom CPU, there's going to be 5 people in the chat saying, I love Tom. Deanna Corby, we just had her on. Make sure you listen. We just had Deanna on. She's great. We just check the latest Canton 9 episode. She's on there with Meredith. John Como, definitely have him back on. He's funny. He's great. We love John. Meredith. Yeah, you know what? I agree 100%. That's a good one too. I'm going to put that on the list. These are ones I'm thinking outside the box. Meredith needs to come back on. She was great the last episode. She gets so much shit too. They go after her. So I agree. Meredith. I think we need to have Meredith back on. And for so long, we couldn't have her on because she was one of the Canton 9. And I think that's going to be the problem with having Meredith on is that even though the court dismissed the charges or whatever against the Canton Nine. They were never even really filed or whatever that bullshit. I don't even know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying. Rafferty came back and said she's going to still try to get him charged. So it's just that's probably going to hold Meredith from coming back on the show, unfortunately, for a little while. And that's why she hasn't been a guest on a lot of shows because of that. I would have had her on a lot more. She was great when she came on way back at the very beginning for the Canton Nine. So I agree. Meredith, if we can get her back on. Yeah, she's wonderful. Oh, the Bianca MMM. Everyone likes her. She did really good on our show last week. Yeah, definitely going to have Bianca MMM. Howie Carr, huh? Maybe I should hit him up. I doubt it. Howie Carr, I mean, what's he do? A 4-hour show every day? You think he's got time to do the Young Jerks? I like the sentiment, though. Jackson and Yannetti, yeah, definitely after the trial's over. I'll be all over that one. Brandy Churchwell, she's been on the show, yes, of course. LTL. Nick Rocco, he's been on the show. The governor, huh? You want the governor? You want Mara Healy? I don't think she's coming on. She knows I'm going to ask about Karen Reed. Yeah, I don't see Karen Reed, the governor, coming on right now. You need Colleen on. Oh man. See, I don't know if I could handle her in a live show. She might break our YouTube. She is a live wire. I like Colleen. I follow her. I share some of her videos, but she might be too lively even for the Young Jerks. Broken Baker. Yeah, we should have him back in. Brandy Churchwell and Lana. I don't know who's Lana. I don't know who Lana is. Tell me who Lana is. Jess. Yeah, you want Jess back on? More Miss Shorty, more Bettero, John Como. So basically, you guys are just telling me to have the same guests that I have on over and over, which is good. That means what we're doing is working. If you have any new suggestions, though, you know I'm going to have a lot of those guests back on. Definitely. Yeah, I would love to have Helena Lafferty. That would be amazing. Maybe I have her email. I'm going to invite her on. Helena Rafferty, you're invited on the Young Jerks. Come on in. Maybe I should invite Tommy Kelleher. I went to college with him. I don't think he'll come on. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask a couple more friends actually that know Tommy Kelleher. I'm gonna be like, ask Tommy if he'll come on the show, just to see what he says. Luna's mom says, "Dude, spending $5 to get you to read a $50 super chat." Andrea Burker, what? What's going on here? Let me read this again. I'm spending $5 to get you. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I'm trying to figure out this super chat. I put it on the screen, Luna's mom. You're spending $5 to get you to read a $50 super chat, Andrea Burkhart. Okay. That's a good one. Andrea Burkhart is a good one to get back. I don't know how it's $5 turns into 50 though. I'm confused by that one. But Andrea Burkhart, you're right. She's very good. I've had her on the show. I'm going to add her to the list. There you go. Yeah, that's true. That's probably, if I reach out to Howie, he'll probably have you on his show. That's probably what would happen. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. He's got Bettero. I don't know if he needs me. I'm a scumbag leftist. All right. Here's Thomas, Anonymous says page after page of legal gymnastics mimicking Commonwealth. That's what exactly what the whole lawsuit seems like. That's all it was. I bit him. I hit him. I read that as I bit him. I hit him. What is this one? Please learn to organize your super chats. What does that even mean? How do you organize super chats? I don't even know. Explain that to me. Explain yourself, sir. Oh, she sent a $50 one too? Hmm. It's weird. I don't see it. I'm gonna look for it now. Is that what you guys are all talking? Oh, there it is. That is weird. Wonder how I missed that one. Did it show up later? There it is. Andrea Burkhart. Follow her thread on this. Sounds like a super dumb ass move on the part of Paul Keefe. I don't know how Karen does this. Thank you for the $50 donation. Now I know what you're talking about, Luna's mom. That was up there. I don't know. It's weird. I'm just going through and seeing if I missed anything else tonight. Invite Flipperhead on the show. I like his videos. I don't know. I mean, I've never heard him speak, so I always get worried about it if I've never heard someone like, speak and invite them on the show. I've done it, but it's always like a risk. You never know. What if he's more annoying than Kevin? I don't think he will be though. Yeah, I think he would be good. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll hit up Joe Flipahead. Yeah, I think he's incognito too. That's the other part of it. Jess and Boston Mike, huh? Yeah, when we're I don't know if people I guess not everyone's aware. When we broadcast on StreamYard, that's where the creators seeing the super chat. We're not actually unless I'm looking at my phone, I'm not seeing what you guys see. On the super chats, they come through StreamYard. They have like a it's organized actually, supposedly, but I don't think they always come through right away. And I think sometimes they do come up after because I that one like I've been going through these one by one tonight, and there's no way I would have missed that $50 from Luna's mom because I read the one right before her, Dreamer Thinker. I read that one, and I also read the one right after it, The Pilgrim Shadow, about Sergio De Niro. So it's weird how I feel like sometimes they pop up after the fact up there. And they don't always show up right away like they do on the phone because sometimes I do watch on the phone just to see, and I'll see them and then they pop up on. There's a lag. Scott McGinnis, he might be a good guess. Yes, I'm sure he's called in before. I think what I might do too. Yeah, that's what someone said. This is why they use a lot of streamers use a different screen. That's the thing, though. I like to keep it simple. And plus, I share my studio too with my girlfriend. So every time I'm done with a show, I take my shit out. Not the full studio part, but like the computer and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I had a second screen for a little while and then it broke. I couldn't the connection. I just don't want to deal with all that BS. I actually stream on one computer. I know most streamers, especially my size, they're using a lot more equipment than me. But like I said, I like to keep it simple. Maybe I need to get a second screen. I don't know. I also need to get new glasses. I don't have any time. Mike, don't worry. I still love you. Thank you, Luna's mom. You see me struggling through this. Did you see mine about police officer Mr. OUI? I don't know. Invite Flipperhead on your show. Lana is truth and transparency, huh? Hmm. Okay. Not really aware of that one. I think I listened to it one time, and yeah, I think I listened to it the one time that they had Kevin Clapp on or whatever, and I was just like, "Eh." Yeah, I'm reading the super chat really, Glenn Lake, who likes to troll me all the time. I'm actually reading you. I really, really, though, Glenn, really. Thank you, Glenn. You're so generous. $10. $10 to troll me is well spent, bro. I think George Soros paid for that $10. I think you're getting reimbursed from George Soros, Glenn Lake. Nikki's on to you, Glenn. Nikki's on to you. DJ Cappy? Who's DJ Cappy? I don't know who that is. Kurt on civil law. Maybe I've seen them in our chat before, so I bet I could probably get them. I'll check them out. Glenn isn't a troll. He kind of is, though. No, am I getting mixed up? Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Joe Biffle tonight. Glenn sometimes trolls me a little bit. I was thinking of Biffle though. Actually, you're right. But Glenn sometimes I think does troll me a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Maybe I have Alzheimer's. I'm starting to think that I've lately I screwed up some things. There was a tweet I put out. Like I'm not going to talk about it because people will get all mad about the politics again. So I'm not even going to mention the tweet. But I messed up something like very basic, and people were giving me shit. And all I'm thinking is like, do I have Alzheimer's? Like, how the hell did I miss that? Yeah. See, I'm going to disagree with Miss Shorty. She says that Miss Shorty says, no, he doesn't troll. But then Glenn writes back, Glenn definitely trolls Mike. So I think he does troll. I just don't think he trolls you. He trolls me. He knows I enjoy it. Yeah, Glenn is funny. But I think I did actually get it mixed up with Joe Biffle for a second, which is funny. Where is Joe Biffle tonight? Not around. Joe, wait, you cheating on me? Are you like, he's probably watching like, I don't know, what, UFO videos or something? I'm just reading the chat at this point. You guys, yes, Miss Shorty says Glenn never trolls me. It's because he likes you. I mean, look at this. This is trolling. You never got a super chat like this, have you? Oh, see, I'm not even. I want to post Glenn's latest, but I'm afraid I'll get in trouble on YouTube. That was a good one, Glenn. You're making me laugh now. Oh boy, I think I'm ready for a knish. Lauren asked, Mike, did Cody ever send you food? What do you think? I mean, I'm probably the only one that got along with Cody, actually, even though I know I know what he does, so I try not to talk about Cody. I hope he's doing good and where he's at. I hope he gets some help. That's the funny thing because people are like, a lot of times people are hitting me up and they're like, oh, this person said this about you or this or that. And I'm just like, I don't get mad when someone sent pizza to my house. Like, I don't care. Like, I really, like, my skin is so thick at this point. I don't actually get mad anymore. I used to get mad at shit since like this year when KP and Grant Smith Ellis and that whole crew of people basically threatened me with the Mass State Police. Nothing really gets me mad except if you threaten me with the Mass State Police or cops. You know what I mean? That's the line for me. So if you call me names or make fun of me or say I did something not nice to you or whatever, that's kind of trivial, whatever, I don't care. Don't care. But if you send a pizza to me, that didn't even make me mad. You know, it's what gets me mad is when people send law enforcement after us for doing our show or threaten to sue us over and over and every day. That's it. If you're not doing that, I don't give a shit. So all the other stuff, the little people we all do. I mean, everyone has a little, who likes this one, who doesn't like this one. It is what it is. Who cares? I don't. Oh, thank you, Glenn. Thank you so much, Glenn. I mean, that's the thing too, Lauren. How, like for me lately, it's just like sometimes I'm almost like I don't even need to do a show right now. I didn't do a show for a couple days. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do a show tonight. The only reason I did a show is because of this lawsuit thing. But even tonight, it was like during the trial, I felt like we had to go live every night just to support Karen Reed. And at this point, after all the shit that they did to so many of us, and seeing what happened to the Canton Nine, seeing what they did to me, and I came back, and all these other people, and I know Aiden's gonna win too. Like it's so good now to see like the shoe on the other foot. Who's getting locked up? Who might get locked up next? Not going to be anyone on our side. So yeah, that feels good. I mean, I don't want to see someone to go to jail. I really don't. I feel bad for KP in some respects, but Jesus Christ, she deserves it. You know what she did to me was hell. She should never have fucked with me, and I'll never get over what she did. Like it's unconscionable what she did to me. And then they made up all this bullshit that I never did any of it. All I did was journalism. That's it. The Galera says he just came from Plevin's chat. My vision is still coming back from how bright those scholars were in there. Some of the brightest people you'll find on the planet are watching. You know what? Like I thought Scientology level 59 was like the top of the food chain. No, it's Kevin's chat, man. You don't even need to get rid of the Thetans, man. You just go right to Kevin. You don't need to buy any of the special classes. You don't need to go to Harvard. All you need to do, Will, is just sit in Plevin's chat and absorb the genius. That's it. That's all you need to do. This one dude said that he thought Karen Reed meant to just hurt John O'Keefe with her 2-ton SUV, not kill him. I got to rethink the whole thing. I know, right? They're so persuasive over there. Level 79, the final bridge. You've reached OT 99 status that there's only 2 people on the planet. You're above Tom Cruise level Scientology when you go to Plevin's chat. That's what it is. You're totally clear. You don't even need to get the Mensa membership. They just mail it to you. You don't even need to sign up for it. They just send it to you. You don't even need to apply to the CIA. They just show up and give you your badge. All right, I'm out of here. I love that the glare is here, though. It's like keeping me here for an extra minute or two here. Hey, Will. I mean, I don't want to see anyone go to jail, but I mean, I am laughing at this shit that she's put herself in this position. I really am. It is like go watch it. Kevin Kevin's chat is exactly like Kevin's Gate. You got to put on the matching Nikes and the purple shrouds. It's exactly what it's like over at Kevin's Heaven's Gate. They're all laying down on their little beds with the Nike shoes, the blue Nike. You know the blue the old blue running Nike shoe. They're all laying down, arms crossed on their backs. There's a good one. Mary, you got to make it happen. Mary says, I see Mike with Peter. Lawyer, you know what? I might hit him up. I don't know how to reach him. Does anyone know how to reach him? YouTube doesn't make it easy to reach out to other creators. You think if they would have some kind of backdoor way just to contact each other, but I don't know, unless I tag them on there, and I don't think they'll even see that. If anyone knows how to reach out to Peter, you know what? Maybe Twitter. That's a good idea. That's how I find everyone, actually. But if anyone knows Peter, let me know. I'd love to have Peter on. That would be a good one. I listen to him sometimes. Watch him. Yeah, he's on Twitter. Yeah, it's funny. Someone said Karen Reed should countersue. I just wonder if anti-slap will help them at all. Karen Reed. I think that possibly could help her anti-slap actually in this whole thing. So there could be a level of yeah, it could turn around a boomerang back on them. Yeah, this is what I'm hoping. This is why I'm getting so excited, Sea-Dog. I want KP to start ratting out her Mass State Police buddies. I want her to rat out Tully. Can the Glera come up for an impromptu chat if he wants to? I don't know. Is he still here? I could hang for another couple minutes if he wants to come up. I don't think he is. I think he might have popped out. Love Lawyer. No, he has great hair too. He has better hair than me. He's got the real deal here. Oh, he says he can come up for a minute. I'm going to send him a link. Let's do that. We'll chat for a minute. I'm going to send it on Twitter, Will, if you're there. 1 second. All right. I think I just sent it over. You should have it. Let me get rid of this. So I've had that thing up the whole show. It's so funny. I haven't referenced it in a while. It's just a chill show. And now we're going to have Galera on. Yeah, I love impromptu guests. I do too. So we're just going to wait and see if Will jumps in. He could talk about Plevin's Gate tonight. That's what I want. See, that's what I like. I like to talk about Plevin. I learned from Will, watching Will. Will did it so well. He saved all of us from having to watch Kevin. He just replay it and go over it. So none of us would have to watch his BS to keep up with what Kevin was doing. And then you get, the glarer just making you laugh your ass off. That's what I do with Kevin. I'd rather do that with Kevin than ever have him on my channel here. And I think other people have had him on. I think Will actually might even invite him on at one point. I don't know. But that's what I have fun with. Here he is. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Oh, there he is,
Cool.
Clubber.
Yeah, he always just jump in the shot here. He was on the floor, and then he's like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, I love it.
Oh man, what's up, man?
Oh, nothing. Just chilling tonight. Mostly just going over this stupid lawsuit. I think you went over it, right?
Yeah. I think I only had the thing for the I
The
think
charges.
just for CF McCarthy's. I didn't have
Ah,
the suit. I don't know if it's been released or not. All I had was the suit for the CF McCarthy's, I think, or Waterfall, one of the two. I don't even know, but it was just a bunch of bullshit. Like
yeah.
it just, they listed a bunch of stuff that says like, okay, well, suffered emotional distress and physical pain. Physical pain from what? There's no there's no specification of, you know what I mean? Like I've read lawsuit filings before. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I've read lawsuit filings before where they're like, they explain like in detail. Well, I went to work this day, blah blah blah. And then I somebody asked me what was wrong. I had a headache, and then the next thing you know, I had to go home because you know. So all of these things are always in these filings, and this was just the most. And I was just wondering, I was like, what's with these lawyers? And then I Googled them while I was live, and they're just ambulance chasers. That's it's really funny. Like when you watch that, like they have this video, and it's basically a commercial that you would see, like if you're, either homesick from work, or you're a bum, and
You want to make some money. Slip and
yeah,
fall.
right, exactly. Like yeah,
Have you been injured at a Walmart?
totally, totally, like exactly the kind of commercial that you'd see, like right before or after you'd see a DeVry University commercial, or like, have you thought about working in air conditioning repair? Um, so yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I don't know what his motive is here, because if he's only asking for $50,000, just, I mean, I guess it's just a start or whatever, but
See, yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot more than that. I think that was the minimum to get to this court. I think that's the. I didn't even see I went through it. I never saw the 50,000. I was trying to figure out where people saw that, but I guess it must have been in there somewhere.
yeah, I mean, I didn't see it either.
Yeah,
But everybody kept saying
yeah, it
50,000
was
for,
reported that by WBZ apparently. I don't know.
right.
I think that's the minimum maybe to get into the Superior Court. I don't know, but to me, it spelled out that the amount is to be determined basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense, because apparently the statute of limitations to file the suit is 3 years. So they're approaching that. Um, so they probably just filed the bare minimum, and then they're going to work out things later. That's me giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but that's what makes the most sense to me in theory. Other than that, it just seems like some insane madness that the O'Keefes are doing. You know?
yeah,
But,
you're right too. Like about the lack of specifics. Like I don't doubt that they had emotional anguish and all this other stuff. That this but you would think that they would say like things like she went to counseling for this and saw a grieving specialist on these dates. You know what I mean? You'd think there'd be a little extra like detail about what that meant to them, but whatever. That's beside the point. I think the hard thing on this lawsuit is it's just like the trial. They have to prove that she was drunk, which is I still think difficult, and especially even more difficult is prove that she actually hit John O'Keefe.
right. And the fact that they're suing the Waterfall makes no sense, because I mean, if we're targeting the Waterfall, right? So let's say you're trying to hold the Waterfall accountable for what?
Yeah.
Okay, so You're in the Waterfall. Reportedly, allegedly, she had 3 drinks total, and one of those drinks she walked in with from CF McCarthy's. Now, as far as the Waterfall is concerned, who knows where the hell she walked in with that drink from, and what's even in the drink? Is it even an alcoholic beverage? How are they supposed to know, right? And they only served her 2 drinks. So if they only served her 2 drinks, well, then they're not responsible for her leaving and driving, are they? They're not responsible for, and especially if nobody. I mean, all the McAlberts sat on the stand during this trial that just took place, this sham, and they all said that she didn't seem intoxicated to them.
Exactly. How
So
does that work? And
so
none of the,
how
even the next morning, if you're that wasted, like if you're, when I was 19, I got pinched for OUI, and I
okay,
blew between a 1.3 and a 2.9. So
okay,
I'm somewhere in that range, and I knew I could barely fucking walk. Like I could have died that night. I was hungover all weekend, like that. Like I was like one of those idiots. You know what I mean? I was like
yeah,
alcohol poisoning, driving the car like a meathead, young kid. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I learned my lesson that night. But let me just say, like she would have been drunk the next morning when none of the cops were like, she smells of alcohol. Let's give her a breathalyzer. Let's have her walk the line. None of them did it. EMTs, firefighters, cops, are all the
nothing.
McAlberts around her. Nobody said she was wasted.
Right, and her blood alcohol level is that's reported is estimated because they took it like what 2 days later or something like that.
Yeah,
So I mean, it doesn't make sense that's what they would. They can't even prove that she was drunk. I don't know what they think they're going to do here. It makes no sense to me. Like I just don't see how it's going to be a win.
doesn't. Yeah. And what about Kevin's show tonight? You were there for. Oh, I love this guy.
Oh,
Plumber.
I was only there for a second. Yeah, he's such a ham. He just wants to. What's going on? So what's
Love
up,
him.
buddy?
Oh, he loved you. Look
I
at that
love you too,
face.
buddy. I love you
Oh,
too. I love you
oh, my
too.
baby.
Um, so this would be weird, like he's just gonna get in my face here. No, okay, he's but
He's back. I love this dog.
what's up, man?
He's
So
ready.
no, Plevin wasn't even saying anything. Like like I was in there for like maybe a minute, and he was just like, I follow the evidence," just the same old Plevin bullshit. And then and then there was like a couple of trolls, and then everybody else was just retarded. And there was like 100 people in there. I'm like, why do you keep doing this? Who is listening to this guy? Like,
I
it's
can't believe
so
he has even like he has not many
fascinating.
listeners, but I agree with you. Like when I go in there, I'm like, how the hell does he even have 200 listeners? Like, who the hell are these 200 people? But I realize it's probably 50 McAlberts, number one. And there's probably 100 of them like us that hate Kevin who are watching him. Like, that's probably it. Like, but it just, I don't know, man. Like,
He's like uh the voice for the Karen Reed is guilty crowd. He's the voice for that, and he can't even break 200 people in his chat. That should tell you
everything.
everything, especially in a community in the true crime world. Like it is. I mean, the blood pumping through the true crime community is the view of guilty until proven innocent, pointing fingers. This person is guilty, 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 guilty. Now everyone has either shifted to, okay, she's innocent, to or just being quiet and just being like, all right, forget it. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore because
That's
they're
a
too
good
proud
point.
to admit that she's innocent.
Yeah, and most of the
But
time, the guilty people are right. Most of these people that they're focusing on are actually guilty.
right, well, that's because usually the way it works is law enforcement will actually only make an arrest when they have enough evidence that they know will convict someone in a court of law. That's why this case is so bizarre because they did almost the opposite of that, almost the exact opposite of that. That's why I'm so fascinated with it. That's why I became so fascinated with it because I'm just like, why are they moving forward with this? It doesn't make sense. Every other case that I've ever followed, they, like I'm the guy who's telling people when I'm covering a case, I'm the guy who's going, hey, man, these things take time. They have to build a case, because there's usually, okay, this person was found dead. The husband, he's the most suspicious. Why haven't they arrested him yet? And I'm just like, well, they
Give
have
him
to
some
build a
time.
case. They
Yeah,
have to build a case. They have to make sure that once they arrest him, they need to
it's the
make sure
right
that it's
one.
going right, because they can't try the guy twice. So they got to get it right the first time. That's how the justice system works. So, this is one of those things where you're just like, uh, this is not even close to any other case that I've ever even followed. So I don't know what they're doing. Um, the only thing that makes sense is corruption. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that makes sense. I mean, this is
Yeah, I mean,
beyond
the whole thing
any of
question
it.
is what kind of corruption? I mean, I think that's what people
Right.
the juice is now is that do you
And
believe it's
where
just
does the
towny corruption or do you believe it's something larger? It's this.
right, where does the corruption cap? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
exactly. How
does
far
it
does it go?
right? Does it cap at Michael Morrissey, or does it go all the way up to, the governor's camp?
Mm,
Or does it go further than that?
mm.
I mean, who knows? But that's tinfoil hat shit right there. All I care about right now is that the people responsible for the people responsible for framing Karen Reed and for whatever happened to Sandra Birchmore uh, are held accountable. That's what I'm focused on. So, and that would be Michael Morrissey, um, and anybody who works under that umbrella. That's where I'm at personally.
I am there too. Kevin's definition of grifter now is anyone that won't have him on their show.
I mean, I would let Kevin on my show.
You
You
would.
know,
But
I mean,
then you
yeah,
wouldn't be a grifter anymore, apparently, if you have him
right.
on.
I mean, okay, but I would have him on. I don't know why. I mean, if he's like worried about, if he thinks that I wouldn't have him on, I wouldn't go on his, you know. But
Well, I mean,
but
why would you?
right,
Who's like,
he's given
I
me every.
mean, who are you trying to reach over there?
Well, right, exactly, and I mean, people are just going to be ignorant, but at the same time, we see how he treats his guests,
That
who
too.
do agree to go over there, and he's got a horrible record. So why would I put myself through that? You
No,
know?
no. The question is, would you have him on your platform? Would you get?
Sure.
For me, I won't do it because I know he wants it so bad. So
Right.
I just like fucking with him, like, and just because he's such a prick. And number two, like, I know it would blow our shit up, like if we had him on, and I would go right at him. But like, I just know he'd get like 10 people would be like, hey, that guy ain't that bad. I'm gonna follow him. Like, I don't even want to give him the 10 people. Even if I got like 200 new people, he'd get 10. It would still bother me that he got 10 new people.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't care about that. Like, I don't care if he gets 1,000 people in his chat. Honestly, I'm not here to like try to shut people down
No, I'm
or
not either, but I don't want to help him. I just don't
right.
want to help that guy. Like, I feel like it would be helping someone who's dishonest and disingenuous, and I don't want to have any. I don't want to
Yeah.
help him. Just and especially, I would feel guilty like I was doing it for the views. That to me, from like, I'm
Right.
not telling other people what to do because we all have to deal with this shit. It's like we all have different. I just feel like for me, I would feel like I was just doing it for the views because I feel like I don't want to support him at all.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't look at it as supporting him.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I would treat it no different than just me opening the phone lines. It's the same thing. Like, anybody can call in if you got something to say. Sure, come on up. I mean, that's how I would look at it. I wouldn't really, only because I know that he's not going to make any sense. I know he's going to just, he's not going to change my audience's mind. I'm not trying to spread propaganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that.
I'm that confident in the truth. So I'm not worried about whether or not it's going to help him or anything, because I don't think it will. I mean, he's just going to have a larger platform to look stupid, and he knows it. And I think that's why he wouldn't come on my show.
Mm,
I don't.
interesting.
I've
I
never heard him ask,
yeah.
or suggest that he wanted to be. You know, I just never bothered to send an invite to him because I always assumed he would decline.
Oh, I have a feeling he might hear this and wanna come on Glara's show now.
He could reach out to me. I mean, it's fine. I'm on Twitter. He knows how to reach me.
And you might be more sensible than me about it. Like, I'm that listening to you that's what I like about you, Will. You're just so freaking chill. You're just like, "Yeah, well, I don't think so. Well, it don't bother me." Like, because I think I overthink it maybe. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you have a history with him, don't you?
A little bit. I mean, he's a yeah. I mean, no more than you, though. You have a history with him too in a bit. I mean, he gave you a nickname. He gave us both nicknames.
Yeah, but I mean, that's YouTube bullshit that I
Yeah.
just never. If you let that shit get to you,
No,
like,
I made T-shirts out of it. I loved it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah. Don't.
jellyfish.
I mean, that's the
Like,
thing. Is
I'm at the point where I told people too. People send me shit about like other people who are on our side. Like this person's it's like unless they like have the state police come into my house, I don't give a fuck. Like I
right,
don't you know what I
right,
mean? Like it's got like even people sending pizzas. I don't care. Like what you send me a pizza, I got $50, I'm eating it. Like, you know what I
right.
mean? Like as long as there's no anchovies on it.
It saved me. Yeah, the only reason that would piss me off is because I'm probably trying to diet, and it's like, fuck, this is really tempting. You know what I mean? Like it's free pizza. I know the pizza guy didn't do anything to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so if they expect me to pay for it, that's a different
Well,
story.
they do. They
If it's
never when they order the
it's already
pizzas, they
paid
never pay
for.
for the I paid for the pizza when it came actually, and it was good. I had just eaten Thai food though, but I was like, "You know what? We're having late night pizza now too." We did. We ate the fucking pizza. You know who was mad? She was mad. Yeah. She was
Yeah,
mad because
I
it was
mean,
too much food that night.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's a shitty thing to do to the pizza guy,
It is.
and it
That's the only that's why I paid for it and gave him a huge tip. And
right,
I made sure I was on the do not deliver again list, you know what I mean? But whatever, like, I had the money. I was like, I don't even care. Like, it's like,
right,
whatever. Like, YouTube, who cares? The only thing that'll bug me is if you know, it is a little bit when the same people every day say that you're gonna get sued, that could be a little, whatever. But if you send law enforcement after me or you even send out the threats, that's the only thing that pisses me off. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah, yeah. It's that's because I mean you're wasting resources that way. Like, that's an old thing known as swatting, but people call just I mean wellness check swatting and everything like that. But
that's
either
so
way,
shitty. That's what I don't like.
it's a really shitty thing to do. But people have gotten killed from swatting.
No, they have.
It's really dangerous, and it speaks volumes of the people who do it. Like if you've gotten to a point to where you have no argument and you're just sending pizzas and cops to someone's house because you're just all you're doing is showing the world that you're so mad and you don't know what else to say that I'm gonna send the cops over to your house. And it's like, okay, man.
That's sane. That's sane.
Right.
Mhm. And then you risk the cops' life too. They go sprinting over there. You never know if they get in a car accident and kill somebody on the way there. It's just like,
Yeah, it's terrible, I mean, and if you live in Canton, we know Canton can't afford those resources. They can't even afford evidence bags.
yeah,
So, you're you're sending cops over to somebody's house? What's wrong with you? Don't do that.
yeah. So I love the jellyfish, young jelly, young jelly. I love it.
It's yeah, I can't I can't with Plevin, man. Like it's just I can't even read his posts
Oh my god.
because they're too long. Like, how arrogant are you to think that I have the time to read an essay because you are verified on Twitter? I don't. It's
How
crazy.
much time do you think he spends on one of those?
A lot. A lot. I mean, that's wild because he's like proofreading and he's indenting and shit and you're like, what? Dude, just get a blog, like do it. I mean, if you're so jealous and you think that
Don't give him any ideas.
well, no, and if you think if you think Turtle Boy is such a hack and you think you're way smarter than Turtle Boy, then do what he does but better. I challenge you. You know what I mean? Do
Yeah.
it. But they don't ever. I mean, it's just their actions. They don't realize that they could say things all they want, but their actions are really what's speaking to people.
Yeah.
And I mean, so it's easy for me to just sit back and just be like, anything else?
Anything else? Like
Please.
KP collecting lunch money when they're calling everyone else grifters, and now they're fighting over lunch money.
That's right. And Grant doing the same thing. Grant like putting posts, guys, I'm very independent and I'm this and that. But if you could find it in your heart, because
To feed me.
I've been so hungry the last couple.
It's
God
like,
damn, dude.
it's
Like,
like
bro.
it reminds me of those Oxfam like UNICEF commercials. Like, will you feed this hungry child? It's like, are you kidding me? Like
You're
you're in
pulling up
America.
the
I didn't think
cord.
anyone was starving. I didn't think anyone was actually starving in America.
You're pulling up to court in your mom's fucking Porsche SUV and assaulting people, and you're begging people for money. Ask your mom for money, dude. Again, actions. Like you see what we can see you.
And then
Like
he shows up with the Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah.
Like I have money, but I don't usually show up with Dunkin' Donuts because I'm too
And
goddamn cheap. I like
no,
making it at home. Like
blows my mind. Like
like
the same day he'll put one of those posts up, like I'm so hungry. If you could find it in your heart, he'll be sitting there on Plevin's live, fucking
yeah, smoking a joint after joint. I
yeah,
know.
just chain smoking fucking
And we know
blunts,
those
dude.
joints are like
What?
10, 15, $20 a
Right.
piece.
That
Like,
shit's expensive as fuck to smoke like that, dude. Snoop Dogg smokes like that. He's a
yeah,
millionaire, bro.
yeah.
Like, what are
I
you
don't even
doing?
smoke like that. And you know how much
No,
money I spend on that? Like,
dude. I eat gummies because they're
better
financially
bang for
more
your buck.
sound. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right. They last longer and there's just more economically efficient.
I
Like
wish they worked for me.
I get higher and spend less and for longer. I'm not faulting them for smoking weed, but don't chain smoke weed and beg people for money.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the
come on,
crazy
dude.
thing.
Right. I just, and people see these things. People see this stuff, and they think, the thing is, that's why Plevin is gonna only attract 100 to 200 people in his chat, because he's only going to attract that minority of people who listen to words and don't see actions. And most people have enough common sense to actually look at the actions and apply the words to the actions and see if they match. You know what I mean? And that's why people will gravitate over to your channel or my channel, or it doesn't it's crazy to me that he thinks that people are just going to go, wow, he follows the evidence,
He
and
follows the evidence. I
I'm
love
going
it.
to take his word for it. He follows the evidence. He says he follows the evidence, right? So okay, got it. All right, cool, Plevin. I'm all yours, buddy.
I love when you did that thing.
It
That was
makes
so
no
funny. He
sense,
follows
dude.
the evidence.
Right, follows the evidence. People, am I crazy here? Am I the only one who can hear him?
Sane, logical evidence. Just
He
keep
applies
repeating it.
he applies logic. He said it 10 times in the
Yeah,
last minute, people.
it
What else
must
is
be
it gonna
true.
take?
It must
Right.
be. He said he's smart. He said
What are
everyone
you
else is
people
dumb.
missing? Anybody? God. It's so crazy to me, dude.
It's funny.
I've never covered a case where I've seen so much fucking insanity. And what's really funny is it's actually like it's still pretty chill. Like those trolls are not nearly as bad as what I'm used to. Like nearly as bad. Like go over to that. I mean, that live stream that I did yesterday about Bullhorn Betty.
Yeah, what's
Like,
that about? She's even worse, huh?
dude, go over and follow the cases that corner of YouTube is talking about. You want to see some fucked up behavior? People are terrible, dude. Terrible. I mean, like the
And they're
doxing
wrong too, aren't they? Are they wrong?
uh
Like that Bullhorn
well,
Betty's just insane, isn't she?
yeah. But the thing is everybody thinks that they're right, and they like it all surrounds around this missing kid, and nobody seems to realize that they're all damaging the case and making it harder for law enforcement to actually solve this crime or solve this missing person's case. We don't even know if a crime took place. It's not even but people are jumping to the conclusion and pointing parents at the fingers, and they're saying, well, the father did it. Oh no, the stepfather and the mother did it over here. And those people are just feuding with each other, and it has absolutely no benefit. It holds no benefit to finding this missing child who is autistic and is counting on the word being spread on him. And the problem with that is when you have these people fighting over who killed him. Well, two things: A, there's no evidence that he's even deceased. They have no idea what happened to him. He just disappeared. So you have this effect that they don't think about, which is if everyone is spinning a narrative that he's dead, well, then all of those people who are buying into that narrative are no longer keeping their eyes peeled for a missing child, and that is very dangerous for that missing child, and it hurts the investigation.
Mm.
Especially if you're spreading rumors, and especially if you're because then this other thing happens where everyone thinks that they're Scooby-Doo, and then they start calling the FBI and the local police departments with their bullshit tips. And the thing is cops have to follow up on every tip. So that's time and money wasted on someone's insane theory that they have to follow up on because they heard a rumor. um, and people just don't have enough empathy for the actual missing person to think, okay, well, is me calling them going to take away from their efforts to actually find this missing person? Is my information credible enough for them to actually look into? Nobody wants. They're just too focused on being the one. They think that they're fantasizing about solving the case, and that they're going to be in a parade and they're wearing teal, and they're and the mayor's going to hand them a key to the city that's this big because they solved the case. And it's insane that this whole YouTube community can be that in like delusional and fantasize about that and allow that fantasy in their mind and that delusion to cause them to make bad decisions that could actually affect an ongoing investigation that this missing person's well-being is depending on. And these professionals, they need a clear path to be able to do their job. And when you call them with your insane theories, you're only
Coming up the works.
right. You're muddying the waters is the term that's normally
Mm.
used. So
Yep. It's overwhelming with bullshit. Like it
right.
just, in politics they call it flooding the zone. Like it's like when you're trying to cover up, you just throw everything out there. So
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
It's all
Yeah,
distraction.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all distraction.
But they're doing it like when politicians do it, they're doing it intentionally. These idiots don't even know what they're doing. It's like,
Right.
yeah, they're
Right.
doing it unintentionally because they're just idiots. I mean, I get that too. Anytime I put out an email and say, I might ask for something, and then I get like 1,000 emails with like just paragraphs of everybody's theories. And it's just like,
I
and then they
won't
get
even.
mad when you don't respond.
I've learned to not care if they get mad. If I
Yeah,
don't,
I pretty much. I mean, what are you gonna do? I can't read this shit. They're like, did you
right.
get my email? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like with like 5,000 other ones I didn't read.
Right. I don't. It's nothing. Sorry, guys. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't. You know.
I like to eat. I like to walk the dog. I like to
I
like life.
and I actually do stick to the facts and follow the evidence. So I don't have time. I don't have. I honestly don't have the intellectual capacity to sift through it all. I have to ignore the shit, or else I get distracted from the truth, and I get distracted from the actual evidence, and I can't allow myself to do that. So, at the risk of my supporters getting mad at me, you know, I'm sorry. I'm most likely not going to read your email. Most likely, if you send it to Cherry will be nice enough to read most of them, and then she, very few of them are enough to bother me with and go, hey, you should probably read this.
I
Very
need
few of them.
I need a cherry.
Yes. Good luck.
I know,
Uh,
right?
yeah. Good luck.
You know what you got over there.
Yeah. She's fantastic. I'm really lucky.
There's a
Um,
question that came in. Could Paul be getting any info from college football teammate? I think he's talking about Lieutenant Tully.
could call. Oh.
Talk about
Um,
Tully. I mean, he could.
oh.
Who knows what they're sharing with? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that they're I mean, I'm sure they're sharing a lot, but I'm sure that if we're giving Paul the benefit of the doubt, which I'm still willing to do to some degree, if we're giving Paul the benefit of the doubt of he's just being fooled, right? He's drinking the Kool-Aid. The Karen Reed is guilty Kool-Aid. Well, who's feeding him that information? The very people who we're accusing of covering up this murder and framing Karen Reed. So that's where he's getting his information from. That's where he's getting his updates from. That's where he's getting all his heads up from. Are the very people who we're accusing of not doing their jobs properly and not, at the very least being negligent. But I mean, we know better by now. It's more than that. So that's why Paul O'Keefe at this point is being side-eyed by people more often, more and more with every action that he takes. I've never been the kind of person to criticize the family member of a victim, but
Me neither.
he's making it much harder and harder to defend him
Exactly.
as each action takes place moving forward.
Let me ask you this too, because one of the things that could happen on this is the defense could have an opportunity to bring up this lawsuit as a way to kind of disparage the O'Keefe family. And it's kind of like, because I feel like the O'Keefe family put their thumb on the scale on the last one when especially when they brought in those 3 witnesses to sit with them.
Hmm.
And I just wonder if the defense should bring up that they have a motive now. They have a financial motive that would benefit the O'Keefe family if Karen Reed is found guilty, because then they'd win their civil suit and take her money. Do
I
you think
don't
they
think
should bring that up or not?
No,
Yeah,
no. I mean,
that's what.
personally, I mean, again, in theory, I'm not a lawyer, but
Right.
in theory, I would assume that would be a bad look. Anything that the defense does that even implies, attacking the victim's family in any way, shape, or form is not going to look good to a jury. So they're going to avoid that in any way they can. They're not going to show any public disrespect towards the
The
O'Keefe
O'Keefe
family
family.
in any way, shape, or
I
form.
agree with
So
you on that. I saw people bringing that up today, and I was like, yeah, maybe, but I don't think so because of what you said. Like, I just don't. I think it would backfire. I think it would totally backfire.
it would absolutely backfire. I mean, and I don't see. It's really interesting.
What if they brought it up by like by asking one of the other witnesses? Like if it was kind of like not directly attacking the O'Keefes, but kind of just like, I don't know, like letting it out in kind of a backdoor way. You know what I mean? You think that
Well, I mean, I don't see how they can make. I feel like they have enough of a case that they can present to where they don't even need to bring up this lawsuit if they did, I feel like it would be a desperate move, and the defense isn't in a position to get desperate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They
Yep.
have too much evidence in their favor already. So why play that? Why play that card? Why even go that route? That would be, in my opinion, uh, you know, something that could be perceived as a desperate
Yeah.
look. And
A low blow.
right. Like even backdooring it in that way,
Yeah.
I don't even see how that would be beneficial to the defense.
I agree.
Because it's not even really relevant,
Yeah.
to the defense, honestly.
Exactly.
But it's going to be. I think that it's going to be interesting. Um, because again, you would have to, yeah, like I said, you would have to. I'm trying to think more of what and ponder more of what you're talking about here. I feel like um, if they try to imply that there's motive, a financial motive to have Karen Reed found guilty by the O'Keefes. If they try to do that again, that's not going to benefit. Uh,
Karen.
yeah, it's not going to benefit Karen in any way, shape, or form. I'm trying to think of how they could use that in some way, but it's just there's too much. There's too
Too
much to
much risk.
me.
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
And
there's
all you
too much.
need is like one or two people that like, jury to kind of like notice it and then infect the other people in the jury. So it's kind of yeah.
Right, and that interview that Turtle Boy had with the juror is very telling, because it comes off like I mean, that juror straight up said, if we had known that there was an FBI investigation into the if there was a federal investigation into the Norfolk County DA's office, and knowing everything that we know now about this case, things would have went a lot differently. But so it was actually very powerful. It was actually a very effective move for Lally to suppress that information and have that suppressed. But I don't see how they're going to be able to pull that off this next time around. And even still, there's still evidence or exculpatory evidence that the defense never even got around to, that I find interesting, because like there's the blood loss, the 3 liters of blood that John O'Keefe lost, that's completely unaccounted for. That was never even brought up. And then um the footage in the Waterfall Bar and Grill of Brian Higgins getting very aggressive directly at John O'Keefe across the bar, which that was never even talked about, even though that footage was shown, or the footage from that night at the
Yeah.
Waterfall was shown,
The
but that
grab
wasn't
ass
even
and yeah, they
right.
showed the grab ass and but they didn't show the very end, right? Or point out what he was doing there.
Right. And to me,
Yeah,
that absolutely gives Brian Higgins motive. If a jury were to have seen that, I feel like that would have been like, okay, there's just too much here for me to think. There's too much doubt. There's too much here for me to definitively say this woman hit John O'Keefe with her vehicle. There's, and then you have the ARCA experts. Um, that's going to come up again, and as far as the lawsuit goes, uh, you know, there's going to be more that's going to be able to be discussed that wasn't allowed to be discussed during the trial. That's going to be brought up, and that stuff. I mean, there's less of a chance of winning this lawsuit than there is uh, the Karen Reed being acquitted. And I still think she's going to be acquitted the second time around.
me too.
Um, it's
If they go forward, but yeah, I think they will. I think you're right. I think she's gonna be
oh,
acquitted.
they have every intention of going forward. I
Yep.
mean, the fact that Canoni denied that the motion to dismiss, and the reasons that she stated, tells me that there's every intention of moving forward, and that she has some sort of motive behind that. I'm wondering again, like with that, maybe she's just trying to keep the peace in that circle. She's got to work in that building with all of these other people, with Michael Morrissey. Who knows what kind of reach he has? And maybe she's just trying to now let this get pushed up to appellate court and then wash her hands of it. This way, she can't. Nobody can say, "Hey, you could have you could have dismissed those charges and blah blah blah," but you didn't. And then nobody can also say if she did dismiss the charges, nobody's going to be coming after her, and there's going to be no corruption that's going to end up, putting her on the receiving end of some sort of retaliation from that
Oh,
that corruption.
for me
So,
watching her, it reminds me of someone that screwed up, knows she screwed up, is embarrassed by it, and is mad at other people who are pointing it out. Like, like that's to me
yeah,
all of her motives. It's not corruption. It's just that she effed up. She did not do a good job, and now she doesn't want people to know about it. And now she's mad that people are pointing at it. Do you think that's the real reason? It's just about her knowing she effed up.
I want to think that, like if I was one of these people who are just real careful about saying, I don't want to accuse Judge Beverly Cannoni of being corrupt. But the problem is that I'm getting to a point where I just don't care because, I know she knows better. Like her actions, when she gave all of those jury instructions prior, and she did everything, and she was on top of every decision. She seemed to show favoritism the entire time towards Lally. She seemed to show contempt for Alan Jackson specifically, but Karen Reed in her defense too. She seemed to show all of these signs of just like, what is your problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, if you're just looking at that moment where she says, "Okay, I'm not going to do that to you, folks. I'm going to declare a mistrial. You guys are free to go home." When you just look at that moment, okay, well, maybe she screwed up. Maybe she just forgot to go over and to remind the jury, okay, well, there's 3 charges. You need to be specific as to which charges you were deadlocked on. If you're just looking at that moment, you could see that as just, okay, maybe she's tired and she forgot. But if you're looking at the entire, going back before pretrial, and if you're going back to pretrial and you're going back to the moment to where they filed a motion to have her to recuse herself from the case because her brother represented Chris Albert in a vehicular manslaughter case. You go back that far and add that and everything that came to that point. I'm sorry, it's not negligence. She knows better. She knows the law. She knows what she's supposed to do. And I'm not saying that she's corrupt in the sense that she took payments or she's getting paid under the table or blah blah blah, or there's a political motivation where somebody is pulling her strings. I'm not saying that she's corrupt in that sense. Maybe not, but the bottom line is, if you are consistently, if you know the difference between acting in the benefit of yourself and acting in the interest of justice, you have shown the public that you know the difference, and you consistently act against the interest of justice. That is corruption. If your job is, and if your entire being, the existence of a judge, is to uphold justice, and every decision you make is against the interest of justice, that is corruption. That means that your position has been corrupt. Like if your computer is fucked, doesn't mean that your computer is out to fuck you over, but a file has
Broken.
been corrupt. It's not doing the job that it's supposed to do. It's not doing the job that it was meant to do. That is corruption. So yes, if you ask me, technically, if you ask me if I think Judge Beverly Cannoni is corrupt for those reasons, I can confidently say yes, I believe she is corrupt.
I think you won me over to it too. By your definition of it.
I mean,
Because usually when I think of corruption, I think like, doing favors or like, but I see where you're going with it.
right. I mean, if your job is to uphold justice, but every decision you seem to make is not in the interest of justice, if I could look at that decision and go, wait a minute, you didn't even try. If anybody
Yeah.
who's
I
looking
mean,
for
especially
justice,
that latest one when she didn't even allow the jurors to come in. Didn't quite, you know what I mean? Like, why not just like Bettero said, why not just have a hearing and bring in the jurors and question them? You don't have to do it in front of cameras. You can,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is if you were actually interested in justice and you were interested in Karen Reed's right to a fair trial, which is the excuse you use to rob people of their First Amendment rights and be able to assemble on the courthouse steps, well, then if you are actually interested in justice and you're actually interested in her right to a fair trial, then what you would have done is you would have sat down or at least deposed or held a voir dire of each juror and asked them what their decision was. You don't have to ask them how they got to that decision. You don't have to ask them what went on and what conversations took place in the deliberation room. You don't have to ask any of that. Just be like, you, juror number 3, sit down, okay? And what did you vote? Did you vote on which count, and what was your vote? And that's it. That's all you have to do. But she wouldn't do that. Now, if her excuse is, well, I don't want to waste unnecessary time and money on this voir dire, well, you're willing to waste the time and money on a brand new trial
yeah.
that should have been dismissed in the first place, a trial that should have never happened in the first place, and you let that happen, and now you're letting a second one happen when there's not nearly enough evidence to convict somebody. I mean, uh, yes, I
Right.
think Beverly Cannoni is absolutely corrupt.
Good points. It's like,
100%.
she's gonna let Lally talk about the weather again for like hours.
Right. I mean, she could have absolutely. I mean, she's not making decisions in the interest of justice because it's not like I understand if Alan Jackson or and or David Yannetti just came to her and was like, "Hey, got this text message, word of mouth, just saying, I feel like, we should probably talk to these jurors." No, these jurors reached out. Individual jurors from that jury pool reached out to not only the defense, but they reached out to the Commonwealth as well. So it was different jurors who came forward individually, independently, unsolicited, in Beverly Cannoni's words, unsolicited, and yet she's not willing to hear them. That's corruption to me.
You gotta make some very good points. Of course you do. You have any final thoughts today? Anything else that we didn't discuss that you might want to just pop off on, Galera?
No, not at the moment. Not on the spot, that's for sure.
I'm glad you jumped on. I appreciate. I owe you a show. My
Yeah.
schedule's pretty fucking open now. So, but you probably like, Karen Reed's like slow now. Now you don't need me.
No, not at all. Like I'm always down to talk to you, man. Like one of these days, yeah, I'll schedule because I'd like to do that.
Mazza, Mazza and me.
I want to, I want to get both you guys on. Absolutely, yeah. And I definitely want to get. There's a bunch of people that I want to get. And I've been on so many other people's shows, but I haven't been able to get everybody that I'd like on my show. And I think so far, you and Mazza. I don't think I've had LTL on my show yet. So I'd be down to get him on there too. And I've had Tom on, and I've had Dana and Tracy on, and Paul, and so yeah, there's a few people in our camp here that I'd love to get on my show. I'm just I go on almost every day, but I never know when I'm going on until
I'm like the same way, man.
like
Like
an hour
my
before
mods
I'm
are like every day. They're like, "Are you doing a show tonight?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know. Maybe."
right. Yeah, That's 99% of the time my answer. If
Yeah.
somebody goes,
Unless
"Hey, are
I
you
have
going?"
guests, like that's different when you book a
Maybe
guest. But that it's hard. It's that's different when you book a
maybe
guest. But that it's hard. It's like
exactly
there's a
when you book a
lot of
guest.
work booking guests and doing all this shit.
Right. I don't have the attention span for it. Well, let me get back to you. I got to do this, and then okay, well,
Yeah.
let's talk, and then I'm just like, I fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm
I usually book like only one show at a time. That's what I try to do. And even then,
same
unless
here.
I've booked a guest that's like I don't like tonight, I'm like, I had no idea if I was gonna go live tonight. I was just like, you know what? I guess I will.
I
I
mean,
got a PDF to go over.
I knew I wanted to go live today at some point. Because I always just like hanging out with my chat. And I love that I open the phone lines now and I get people to
Are
call
you
in.
doing
So
phone calls now?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
I gotta start
yeah,
doing more of those. I love the
that's doing
calls.
really well, man. Because
Yeah.
like I just love being able to actually talk with
Oh,
with
it's amazing to hear from
with
people.
right, right,
The
right.
problem
I
I
really
have, I wonder if I use my cell phone. Do you use your cell phone?
I did before, and then I finally figured out how to use Google Voice, and then I have
I
like a
have
Google.
Google Voice. I gotta figure that out because I remember we talked about this before. I do Google Voice on the cell phone. I don't know, and then they call me all night. So I'm like, yeah, that's why I stopped doing
Oh
phone
yeah,
calls.
that's what I used to do. I have a like I had a burner app, and then that's what happened is I would use the burner app, but then people would keep calling, when I'm like sitting in my underwear, like watching movies and shit, and I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
like,
getting
oh
I was getting calls at 4 a.m. I'm like, this
yeah,
is
so I have
ridiculous.
to delete the app. Yeah, I still get Google voicemails. Like I get emails that are saying Google voicemail, and then like there's a transcript. But I love your show. Do you think this, that? And I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
even.
there you
No,
go.
I'm
It's
not
like the
even gonna.
email. It's a long message. Do you
Right.
ever get the hate calls? Do you? Because I've gotten a few hate voicemails. I thought they were hilarious. They call me a
I
dog
haven't
walker.
checked. Yeah, no, I haven't checked them yet.
Oh. You want to hear
I haven't.
mine? Do you want to hear my
Sure.
Captain Tough guy?
Yeah, yeah. Let's
I
hear
want to
the
hear
tough.
what Glara says about this guy. This is hilarious. Actually, let's hopefully it will work. Let me see if I can get my 1 second here. I want to hear what you think about this voicemail. I laughed my ass off, but I think he was trying to be a tough guy, but I think he was kind of nervous.
Yeah, phone call tough guys. You gotta love them.
Here it is. Am I on? Hopefully that's on. Hold on 1 second.
Are you a tough guy? I'm a voicemail tough guy. That's what I do. I'm a voicemail tough guy. What I do is I call, and then you don't pick up because you're sick of hearing from me. So I leave a tough guy voicemail, and I'm real tough when I leave a voicemail.
Of course, I can't get it on. Hold on 1 second. It's supposed to be set up, but it's not. I don't know why. Hold on.
I never set up a voicemail. It just happens. I never set it up.
Here we go.
Listen,
Listen. They're real tough. How do I get it back?
Hold it up to the mic. I can't hear it.
There we go. Hold on. Is it on? I had it. It was working for a second. I don't know why it's not. Let me try one more time. All right. Can you hear it?
I heard you're a professional dog walker. You got fucking 5 empty cans of peanut butter up in your cupboard. Listen, Beethoven's father called. Stop molesting his dogs, bro.
Oh, here it is. Every time it starts over, it clicks off the. I try to get on the road. I don't know why it's not working. Weird.
This is Colin Albert. You fucking can't. Listen, Mike, you're a fucking loser. I heard you're a professional dog walker. You got fucking 5 empty cans of peanut butter up in your cupboard.
You fucking loser.
Grown man, bro.
Listen, kid.
Like all of those, right? All of those people.
I heard you're a dog walker.
Single single one of those people sound like Sam Nagel to me. Like every one of them, just
Yeah,
all
that's,
Sam Nagel.
everyone said that. They said Sam Nagel. Who else
They
did they think
all.
of?
That's all
Some
they
of them
sound
thought it
like
was
to me.
Sean McDonough. I'm like, that is not Sean McDonough.
Like they all do that. Like, you fucking loser, guy.
Yeah.
You fucking loser.
I love it. Every time I get one of those, I'm
Me
like,
too.
oh my god, this guy has been listening to me. He hates me so bad. He called. This was like I didn't even have a show for like 2 days either. He called me. I was like, wow, he must be really mad.
I mean that really, I love that. To me,
I
I'm
do
just
too.
like, what a bummer that you're so upset. You know,
I got to your head so bad.
right?
And I'm having a great day. I'm laughing my ass off about,
Right. It's funny to me because it's like we're the ones who should be mad. Like there's an
No.
innocent woman being framed.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones who should be mad. Like you guys are mad. Why are you so mad? Why? Like shouldn't you be mad at the cops who fucked up this investigation? Aren't those the people you should be mad at? If you think that Karen Reed is so guilty, like I mean, go watch an episode of Law and Order, see how it works, and then tell me if you're still mad at me. Like
That's the funny thing, the logic. It's kind of like when Tristan Morris ran into Turtle Boy. What was he calling him? He called him a rat. A
yeah,
rat. I was like, why would he be calling him a rat? Like, I thought you guys were innocent.
right. And a rat against who?
Yeah.
Aren't the people? I mean, shouldn't you be? So far, nobody is ratting on anybody.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Turtle Boy's trying to get people to rat. But how is Turtle Boy the rat? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
It reminded me of like back in the day, Howie Carr. You've obviously seen Howie Carr, but he was the guy back in the day that would report on the mafia when they were big in Boston. And so
Yeah.
that's what it reminded me of, is like those mafia guys used to say to some of the journalists and reporters like Howie, be like, you fucking rat. What are you putting that in the newspaper? You especially to like, if like Howie, I don't know if Howie's Irish, but like a lot of like Sean McDonough talks about this, where he would bust other Irish criminals and he's Irish. They would say like, you're ratting on your own. You're turning on your own. Like that's what it reminded me of. Like it just,
Yeah,
really weird.
I can't, man. I don't understand the logic.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's like this. It's like they're self-snitching, actually. That's what
Right.
it seems like to me.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it was really funny, like the whole time, because when that stuff was happening in front of CF McCarthy's and D&E Pizza with Turtle Boy, Turtle Boy's sitting there thinking the whole time, like, this is great.
Oh yeah.
Because these people are showing they're not intimidated by me at all. This is all good for me.
Yeah.
Like at no point is he feeling like, oh my God, how dare these people behave like this at me? I'm just over here with my girlfriend trying to, oh my God. He didn't play victim at all. He was like, oh yeah, really?
This is great.
Okay, right.
They handled that so well, him and Meredith.
Like, just keep talking, talking.
Especially when Chris threatened him. That was really smart to do when you said you were intimidated by Turtle Boy and then you threatened him on camera. That was really smart, Chris.
Town selection.
Yeah.
Town
Brilliant.
selection.
He's a really smart guy, that Chris Albert.
Yeah.
And then he sends one of his friend's kids goons out to like sexually harass Meredith. Like that was the part. Like me, I am very peaceful, Will. I mean, I'm too old to get in fights. Like my last fight was middle school. Really. Like, let's be serious. But
I wish
if that was my girlfriend, that would be hard not to freaking, like, Turtle Boy really did a good job. And Meredith did too. Like, I'm surprised. Like, when that kid started touching her, that was just so creepy. It's weird.
It was. Yeah, it was really, really bizarre. And it was funny. Like Ryan Nagel could tell that this is what was happening. Like it was interesting to see Ryan Nagel and how he reacted to that, because he he didn't want to. He was pulling his brother away from
He
that
was,
because he
yep.
knew that his brother was acting like a jackass. But he wasn't about to like criticize his brother in front of Turtle Boy. He wasn't going to give Turtle Boy that satisfaction. So he, masked it with criticizing Turtle Boy and being like, yeah, you hate kids so much, you got to fucking be here, get the fuck out of here, blah 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 blah. But the truth was, you could tell that Ryan Nagel wanted to smack his dumbass brother Sam and be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Exactly.
You're touching girls, you're touching his girlfriend, you're fucking talking shit. You know goddamn well that he would fucking pummel you if it actually got physical, and I'm gonna have to be the one to step in, and you're running your mouth, writing checks that I gotta cash. Fuck you, But of course he's not gonna do that, because if you're loyal to, because if that's happening with, a friend of mine who's running his mouth, or I don't say little brother because I don't have a little brother, but if it was my little brother or a friend of mine who was running his mouth or something like that, I would have handled it probably similar myself. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
but once we're not in anybody's sight anymore,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you'd
be
say
like, if
something
you ever
privately.
fucking put me in a
Yeah.
position like that again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you
Yeah,
myself.
what the hell are you doing, you idiot?
Right. The fuck? You're sitting here running your mouth, but you're the one who's you're the only one who's gonna get hurt out of all this. And the only reason you're not gonna get hurt is because I'm gonna be the one to step in and fucking hurt somebody who's gonna try to hurt you. But because of that, you feel real cavalier with running your mouth and putting me in a fucked up position. You know what I mean?
Very creepy.
Yeah, that Sam, that kid was the most he was the most
And Chris
irritating.
Albert too. Like you add that to Chris Albert, because Chris Albert should, like, out of all of them, he should know better. I just don't get what this guy is thinking by having his kids out there, like, feed into it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right. You would think him being the adult, the father figure in that whole situation, and also being a Canton selectman, he would have been like, hey, and being the owner of that establishment where it's a bad look for his business, you think he would have been like, hey, stop, everybody go inside right now.
Exactly.
That's the first thing I would have done, just as a business owner, not even if I was a selectman, not even if I was somebody's father, just as the business owner, I'd have been like, what are you idiots doing in front of my fucking business, dude? Get inside right now, or get the fuck out of here, go home.
Exactly.
One of the two, but he didn't do that. He decided he wanted to impress them, and then he decided to threaten Turtle Boy, which is just fucking genius.
That what you just said is a genius remark right there. Impress them.
Right.
I didn't think of that, but that's so true. Like, that's the problem with these parents too. Like, why their kids are so effed up. They're, instead of, like, they're trying to impress their kids.
Right. Yeah. They want approval from their children, which, that's pretty back-asswards. To me, at least, that's not how I grew up.
Yeah, no.
Like, yeah. When I was a kid, it was, you
Yeah. It's the
if it was
opposite of that. You
right.
Yeah.
My mom had to be my mom and my dad. So my mom would have done what I would assume my dad would have done, which is being like, hey, you got a big mouth? All right, go over there and tell them what you think. I'll be at home. Let me know how that turns out for you. At worst, but most of the time my mom would have just grabbed me by my ear and been like, get the fuck over here. What are you doing?
My mother probably would have done a lot worse. My mom, it would, like, same thing. I had like a stepdad too with my real dad, but my mom was like, you don't mess with her. She's scary. Like, she's like literally, like, look out. I used to call her ruthless.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is Dominican. Like, we don't. Yeah, you don't. Like
you don't mess.
Right.
She can throw down.
I got hit with whatever was within reach. It didn't matter.
That was my life. I remember one time she hit me with a wooden spoon. It broke, so she went downstairs and got the metal spoon.
Right. Now I know what to do.
No, maybe we should stop there so we don't get our YouTube channel canceled.
Jesus.
Sorry, Mom. I hope she's
Well,
not mad at
I
me now.
mean, yeah, like I mean that's
She
the way
made me
it,
tough, though.
that's the way it was, man. I mean that's how it was. Like you there were consequences for your actions. That's how I grew up, you know.
Bingo.
Um,
These kids,
and-
it's just the opposite. It's funny how the parents
right.
are trying to impress the kids. I just love that was a very good insight, Will.
Yeah, that's it was I was scared of my mom, man. I was scared. Like all my mom had to do was give me a look, you know? Like if I interrupted her with she was talking on the phone, I got hit with a phone.
You know, the other thing too is I think about these
With
kids.
the cord.
Yeah.
It was one of these.
Like, let
And
me
then
ask you another thing. If
and
you're
then,
yeah, if you're 20 years old living with your mom,
right?
do you have your friends over to have a party where you're
No,
drinking?
no,
Yeah.
no,
A
no,
birthday
no,
party drinking? No? That's not allowed?
no,
Yeah, it
no,
wouldn't happen at my house, my parents'
no.
house. No way. No way. Even if I had a guest over just to watch a TV show or something, I would have to tell them and get approval.
Right,
And
right. Do I know their parents?
yeah.
You know, like
Oh,
that
do
kind of
my
shit.
parents even like this person and want them to sit on the couch with them? I mean,
Well,
that's what it
right.
came out of my house. Is my
And if
parents
the
actually,
parents didn't get along,
yeah,
I couldn't even be friends with that kid. You know
that's
what
it.
I mean? No matter
Yeah.
how cool that kid was, if my mom and that kid's mom didn't get along, I guess it wasn't in the cards for us to be friends.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like nobody ever was drinking at my parents' house when I was, let's say underage,
No way.
unless my parents were on vacation. Then we'd invite
No,
everybody over.
not
Besides,
right.
I mean, that was
Yeah,
it. That was the only time we'd ever have people over drinking when we were like
right.
19,
But
20. It's my parents are on vacation. But if they were there, no way.
if I got caught drinking at a friend's house, my mom is reading that parent the riot act, you know, or worse, depending on whether or not how much the parent had to do with me drinking there, you
Yeah.
know. So like, oh man, like if my mom found out that parent had something to do with me obtaining alcohol, shit,
Yeah.
oh
Crazy.
man, yeah.
They live a lot different than we did. I'm getting some kind of weird noise. I think it's my
Yeah, I'm
phone.
hearing that too.
I don't know
what
what
that is either.
I don't know what happened. Well, maybe we should just hang it up for the night then.
Maybe.
It's
Probably
off
a good
now.
point.
It was something with my Bluetooth.
All right.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. My internet was really wonky today, and like my calls were all coming in robot-y. But it was. I mean, I could still, I
It's
could
still
still
doing it. It's
understand
off
everybody.
it's
But
my Bluetooth thing. It's weird. I don't know. I turned it off, but it's every time I turn it back on, it's still doing it. Listen. I don't know what the hell that is. We'll figure it out later.
I don't know either.
The road is blowing up. Well, I'm gonna hang up anyways. I appreciate you being here. Glare, check them out, follow them if you don't. I think everyone already does, but if you don't, check them out and subscribe at the Glare on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
The
the glare. Yeah,
find
that's
you.
the name of the channel. Yeah, you'll find me. Yeah. I'm not hard to find.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me, Mike. It's great talking to you, man. As
You
always.
too. Thank you for jumping on.
Right on. Bye, guys. Good to see
Have
you
a good
guys.
night.
All right. Bye.
Bye now. And we're the Young Jerks, and I just want to check the Venmo and all that. That thing's pissing me off. I hope people still are. I'm going to check the chat. You're not still hearing it, right? I turned it off on my end. You're not still hearing that weird buzzing, right? If you are, let me know. Oh, you still hear it? That's weird. I wonder where that. You know what? I'm going to shut my phone down. Let me try shutting my phone down. You still hear it? See, that's what I was wondering. Is it gone now? That is such a weird thing that happened. I don't know what's up with that. Is it gone now? I think it's gone now. Sorry, folks. I'm not sure what's going on in my system. It's all gone. Good. Okay. All right, I want to thank Caroline on the Cash App. She sent $10. She said, "Great show, Mike. Thank you so much, Caroline." All right, excellent. I think we're just about done. I also had some other super chats that just came in. Oh, Katie, I go Lynch. I just met her the other night. She sent 1999. Thank you so much, Katie. She said, "Awesome to meet you on Saturday, Mike. I think I was more excited to meet you than I was when I met Steven Tyler." Oh my God. Happy birthday, Uncle Jim. Your cousin's cousin, Katie. So I met a new cousin, Katie, at a party this weekend. It was great to meet you, Katie. Thank you so much. All right, I'm done. I think I broke my system. We'll have to figure out what the hell that noise is. I still don't get what was going on there. So weird. I'm gonna try it again. Yep, it's still going. What the hell did we do to that tonight? I'm gonna try to fix it right now. Let's disconnect the phone from the Bluetooth and see if that works. I wonder if it's the phone. All right, it's gone, I think. Yeah, something weird with the phone. All right, we figured it out. I'm sorry about that. Someone said I scared the crap out of their dog. The dog left the room. I'm sorry about that. I hope Poochie forgives me. The happy tail is wagging again. Good. The noise is gone. All right, I'm gonna get going. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you very soon. Hot dog water will never be the same. It's the frequency. I don't know what the hell that was. I guess Microdots has got something going on. New video. Everyone wants to check it out. So go check that out. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow the Glare on YouTube if you're not. I want to thank him for spending some time with us tonight. We'll see everyone later. Have a great night. Thank you for all the super chats tonight.